just type in. Nice meeting you too. So happy you made it. All right, folks, we're about ready to get started. If you could put your phones on don't or airplane mode, or turn off your phones, please, just like a regular theater. Thank you, thank you. Otherwise, if your phone goes off in the middle of the meeting, I'm going to ask you to dance to that, whatever wonderful tune that is that you're trying to impress us with. Ooh, a hush covers the crowd. Wonderful. All right. Turn on the clock and get started here. Oh, 2 minutes late. Oh my God. I have a clock back there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the San Diego Inventors Forum. All right, I'm going to start off this way because the rumors are already spreading around. Been doing this 13 years. Tonight's my last night. I'll be here next month for the contest, and it'll be in really great hands. This club will survive. We've got more resources than ever. We've got more connections than ever, and there's more reasons than ever to keep coming to a local inventors club. So this isn't the end of the Inventors Forum, just the end of my chapter. Again, 13 years. I've been so delighted. How many of you have been in my office and we've talked about your projects? That's why I do it, guys. That's why I do it, just to help as many of you as I've been able to possibly do. I've loved doing it. I've loved every minute of it. Some of you I've actually seen go all the way through and get the products to market and licensed, and that's been a great thrill of it as well. If you're wondering about reasons, it's kind of simple. I'm, at heart, as you're going to see here in a few minutes, really a garage mechanic, garage inventor, mad scientist. That's really my passions. I do have a new medical device startup. I was just up in Irvine 2 hours ago making a huge pitch to create a whole new business. So my prospects are still working with medical devices and environmental devices to make the world a better place for all of you. I do still have quite the passion for helping inventors and working on the legal system. So anyway, that's the big announcement. Thank you very much for indulging me on that. So here we go. Oh, we got screens and everything. All right. Thank you. It's been, yeah. My wife and I, we got out of the Navy in 1980, got married in 81 here, and raised our family and started our business. Our business is still going, and a few other businesses. Yeah.
So with Adrian's departure, if there are any of you who are interested in being on our committee as part of our ongoing member to help organize, run this group, you know, it is a collective. And so if you are interested in being a participant of that, please come talk to me, and then we can kind of go from there. Thanks.
Thanks, Liz. The key core group that's still here is David Waller. Is he not here tonight?
He's not here tonight. He was going to make it.
Bummer. David is a patent agent himself. He's helped many of you. He's helped myself. He's still on our board. It's Sydney Wildsmith is still on our board. Leslie, of course, is still on our board. And our helpers like Danny and Dave Swift are still aboard. So the key core group. Look, let me get the meeting started. I'm going to be introducing some of those people in a minute anyway. So here we go. Yes, for all the last few months, I've been starting the meeting off by going, whoops, shocking news. Shocking news this year. You guys realize you don't own your patents anymore. These are now called public franchises. Thank you, Supreme Court. We'll get back into this a little bit later in the meeting, but point of the matter is it's now more important than ever to license your ideas really quickly. And that's why we're so glad Stephen is here with us today to talk about that more. Oh, that's not going to change. Okay, I've got a brand new Chromebook. I just got it last weekend, and it's not the same as a laptop, so I'll limp through it. We'll get through it. Yeah, okay, thanking our sponsors. Yes, AMN Healthcare. Thank you so much, AMN. really appreciate it, and that will continue. Unfortunately, this won't, and this won't be a next month's slide either. We were very fortunate the last few years to be able to have Coleman University, when the time came to run our contest, to give us some space. They closed their doors August 5th. So that's another, yeah, wow, what happened there? The electric vehicle department they still have. There's a drone department. We're hoping those divisions exist, and I'm hoping they turn into their own entities, frankly. Thanks to Leslie out there. Leslie! Yay, Leslie! Leslie's the head of IP for Jack in the Box and has on occasions been able to acquire some space for us there as well. And then, if those that you don't know, Leslie is the lovely lady at the front desk there that checked you in. My business is A-Square Technologies. I'll tell you more about that. We give a special thanks to our sponsors. That's David, Bob Green. His dad invented blister packing, and his company's Power Pack right here in Rancho Bernardo. So you get really great knowledge on blister packs and Power Packs. Any of you ever see Business Plan Pro, the do-it-yourself software for creating your own business plans? This is the author and the creator. He's one of our sponsors. He's got a whole list of do-it-yourself things. And yeah, this is the last official meeting of the year, so I'll give a little more time and credit to these people here. Judy Balian is a delight. She created a newsletter to start with years ago. She is a psychologist and an artist, and she teaches the Artist Way course. If any of you ever want to learn how to look into your own skills and become more artistic, there's a wonderful program that she teaches. Michelle is not going to be here tonight. That's right. She just moved to Hemet. She's the author of Can Manufacturing Be Saved and How? She just stepped down from a few groups as well. But she's quite she's been a rep here in San Diego for decades, knowing all the manufacturers. Great resource for you to have. Sydney, our dear artist friend and videographer and patron here and supporter. David is our patent agent on call almost always. Now here's another gentleman that actually was a bit of a surprise. Ben Gage helped create the direct response TV industry. Remember Buns of Steel? The ad with Suzanne Summers? Well, he was involved with that, with Russ Chase on. Remember the Floby hair thing? He did that. I mean, Medicus, the golf swinger, this guy was involved for years. His mom was Esther Williams, so he grew up to be an entertainment attorney and then became a patent attorney, then really got into the world of entrepreneurship and helped many people, especially in the fashion industry. Yeah, oh, and last but not least, he's been on the senior U.S. water polo team. So yeah, I call him Aquaman because, yeah, but he's retiring and he's going to go tour the country in a little RV and enjoy life. So yeah, but he's available on call, and he is a great dear friend of mine and mentor. Matter of fact, part of what this group is going to do to continue is based on a one-page sheet that he wrote me years ago, which was a laundry list of all the ways this club could go and grow and be greater and better, and we're still working on it. It's coming though. Already talked about Leslie. Groznia, dear, thank you so much. Groznia is our webmaster and helps on this monthly, so whenever you go to our website, that's Groznia's work. She's fantastic on doing that sort of stuff, so if you need a website done and created, Groznia's awesome. When I first met her, she came so highly recommended by the head of the IEEE that I was like, oh, I've got to talk to this gal. Okay, well, that's right, it doesn't go, it scrolls. Jennifer Joe's been ill for a while, but she's been quite helpful, and Alejandra and David, thank you so much, Mr. Videographer. David's also one of the publishers for the Tidbits newspaper. Have any of you seen this little Tidbits newspaper in the? It's just Escondido and San Marcos right now, or?
Yeah, that's right.
North County. Yeah, it's right next to the paper. Anyway, it's chock full of fun little reading things, and thank you very much for our ad, Dave. Okay, so, oh yeah, now me. Last time I get to put you through all of this. Yes, my name is Adrian Pelkis. I, like you, am a inventor. This is my garage with, that's when it was clean. There's a lot more stuff going on. Actually, we're starting to pack it, and it's even crazier because I'm finding all these artifacts and history lessons, and it's like, oh my God. Anyway, yes, I like inventing things. And I've been doing that professionally, actually, for 30-something years. And there's flyers out here, A-Square Technologies. Again, we've helped 300 of you go from idea to here's a working model. That's led to Some of the products you see here you might have recognized. When your shopping cart wheel locks up, I put the first cable around the Safeway. Voice activated, the switch turns on when you walk in a room, you say lights. This was electroporation. This was doing genetic dividing before CRISPR. Aircraft systems, if a plane goes in a flat spin, you pull this handle and a parachute jumps out the back of the plane. This was a calculator for a teacher who was so pissed that her students couldn't balance a checkbook. So we created this custom calculator that had account keys, and it was called a budget tracker. And she didn't sell one, but it turned into an award-winning app. You've probably seen the app, Budget Tracker. My passion is projects that help mankind or the environment. So I've done a slew of medical things, wound treatment systems, pain suppression devices, bone growth simulators. One of my claims to fame, mid-90s, Fortune magazine gave this the Product of the Year award. How many of you have seen an infant simulator doll? Or your kids brought one home from high school? All right. Yeah, well, the story is we went from a concept that a just fired General Dynamics rocket scientist's daughter had. Her daughter challenged him going, why am I carrying a sack of flour around to pretend this is a baby? I mean, you're a rocket scientist. Can't we think of something better? Sure enough, this infant simulator has got all the sensors and data loggers in it. You can't just throw it in the closet anymore and forget about it until you're ready to pass your class. You have to feed it. You have to change it. It data logs it. It cries randomly. It really gives you a taste of what it's about. Newt Gingrich Hill on the floor saying, here's the answer to the teenage pregnancy problem. In fact, over 1 million kids now in home ec class have used it. It was licensed very successfully to a company called Baby Think It Over, and then they sold that to a company called Reality Works, which is still in existence, making variations of it. My stuff, like C Energy by Piezo Films, or new light sources, or electric cars, one of my fun things, is just a small taste of some of my interests and passions. So, yes, that's led to 15 issued patents. That's led to a bunch of awards. And the one most relevant recently is the one that I got at Mart City Design for developing a mood adjuster, which is the current topic of a startup that I just went and pitched for this afternoon. So the beat goes on. I have been very involved, and I'll tell you right now, I actually resigned from the UIA after about 3 years of helping them go and grow and bring together, and really with Stephen's help, we'll talk about this a little bit later, the whole community of inventors, all of you, all of the clubs across the country now united. And it was a big part in help of both Stephen's help and United Inventors Association. And the other group that I've been telling you about now for months is the 501c4, the lobbyist group, the USI, US Inventor, and I stepped down from that too. And I'll tell you why. I've done about as much as I can. Again, I started there, it was 2 guys. It's now a whole team. We've been to Washington, we've made changes, we've made improvements, we've got a bill pending, and again, most importantly, we united with the whole rest of the country with Stephen's help to create a community of inventor clubs across the country. So these were really great groups that I was very privileged and proud to be a part of, and a starting member of this group here. This is the group that Stephen founded, and I'm very proud to be an advisor on. This is the Inventors Group of America. Towards the end of this presentation, I'll show you the whole history of this with a few great pictures of events we've been at and things we've done. Okay? And that's because I'm a veteran and I love this country and I will fight for it and I will work for your rights. And that doesn't end because I'm leaving this club or I've stepped down off these other things. It's just a transition. So this is a great country and it still is the land of opportunity. A lot more than most of the rest of the world. And yeah, we've got our complaints and there's problems, but all in all, best chances to have that life of liberty and pursue your happiness. That's still what this country's about. Maybe a different flavor of it than it used to be, but it's still what it's about. Okay, so who is new? Raise your hands here tonight. Who's new? Excellent. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, let's just take a moment and do this right. I'd love if anybody's new here tonight, if you want to introduce yourself and just tell us what area you've got some sort of interest or passion in. We don't need the whole elevator pitch tonight, just who you are and what field or area you're working in, and okay, and what brought you in tonight, and I expect to know what the answer is, but who wants to start? Who's new here tonight? Yes, my friend.
My name's Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
Fine, thank you. I'm in the golf invention business.
Ah,
There's teaching aids.
yes.
And specific golf clubs that are kind of cutting edge. A couple guys on tour are playing the style of irons that I've kind of manufactured in my shop.
Oh,
And tried them. I had friends try them. It's a great new way to play the game. A lot easier.
so you're selling them? Is that something that you license, or you manufacture them, or?
I've prototyped several sets and had friends hit them at this point. So
Okay.
I'd be looking to.
You are the right place, the right night to learn about where to go from here. Right on. Because you got Callaway, you got all the bigger companies out here. You're in the right place.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Thank you.
Next. First time tonight. Yes, my friend.
Dave Shaw, and
Okay.
I've developed some rope products.
Some what products?
Rope
Rope.
products.
Okay.
Rope clamp, rope end. We sell them to fire departments, for
Oh.
halyards, other extension ladders.
Oh, wow.
Guys make dock lines out of them, horse leads.
So you have a manufacturing business doing this, or do you license this ideas, or you do manufacture them?
I manufacture. I
Awesome.
built the tooling and
Yeah.
manufacture them.
What town or where?
San Marcos.
Yay, North County, yay.
Tom here is helping selling them.
Yep.
He's selling them in Europe right now.
No, he's right there next to you. Sorry. My last meeting, guys, I might go off on a smart ass end a little bit more than usual. Okay, pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being here. Tom, thanks for bringing your friend. Great to meet you. Next, we're going in a row. How awesome.
Hi, I'm Mark Stewart.
Hey, Mark.
I've been in manufacturing for about 28 years,
Oh.
and I've always been trying to improve or automate machinery that's not automated. So
Ah.
I started automating machinery, and then I've been using them for 28 years.
You actually put in the control systems and the touch screens and all that fun stuff, or?
I do all the logic control,
Mhm.
all pneumatics, not
Mhm.
electronics, but now it's all electrical.
Are you using the ladder logic stuff or actual PLCs, or what are you using?
PLCs.
Yeah. So do you know about the new Unitronics little total integrated modules that have got the menus and the touch screen and?
Well, I used to have drivers and the PLCs, all big boxes. Now they're like you just said, they're this big. It's amazing.
I'm working on a
Technology's
project now that a couple decades ago this was 20-30,000 worth of engineering, and now we're buying the whole module that has 4 more features for $395 from China.
changing. Amazing.
So where we live. Next, thank you for introducing yourself. Very nice to meet you.
I guess
Yes, my
I'm
friend.
next. I'm Princess Chanel, and that's my real name. I didn't make it up. My parents are weird. But I'm in the beauty and media business.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm glad you can make it. I'm sure you've got some great inventions that you want to bring to market.
I'm April Mitchell. I have products in the household items and games and toys.
You do now. And now you have them in those markets, meaning they're on the shelves.
No.
Meaning that's why you're here tonight, is to find out how to get them.
Yeah. Well, I have one product going through InventRight that I'm in negotiations
Oh.
with right now. Yeah.
Oh, far out. Great. A student of yours. Oh, you stacked the deck, Stephen. You got your own students here tonight. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Excellent. Excellent. You couldn't be in better hands. I mean, how many of you have seen those testimonials almost every week of students graduating InventRight that are actually getting their products licensed? Got it. That's the motivation. You know, I'm going to show you in a minute. We're supposed to motivate, educate, and network you. Well, that's the motivation. The many of you that I've gone through this whole process with, we know have companies, that's kind of rare because it takes so long. That's 18 months, it can be minimum on that. But to see a weekly reminder that if you're persistent and you get your ducks in a row and you got a good product that people want, that's what makes this country run. So, very cool. Very cool. Nice to meet you. We skipped somebody over here. Did you wanted to? Yes, my friend. Just a sec. Yes, go ahead.
My name is Brett Barbero, and I'm an academic. Don't have any experience with manufacturing or selling anything. But I came up with an idea. I have a lot of ideas.
Nope,
This
don't.
is one that's actually a thing.
Have you patented yet? Have you filed for it yet?
No.
We did all sign a group non-disclosure agreement, but for the sake of time and everything, just what industry is it in? Let's not show it off right now.
Actually, it's an educational toy. I mean, it was originally a HIV structural simulator.
Oh.
But
Have you patent searched for it yet?
Yeah, I've looked around for it.
Okay, all right, even better. Those I wouldn't be this way about it because we did all sign, but the rules changed. The American Invents Act made it that it's first inventor to file, not first to invent. And anybody unscrupulous here that leaves a little before you, goes to the computer, and $65 later owns your idea.
If I can do it at $65, I'd love to.
Yep.
I've been discouraged at every turn that I've taken. So.
Well, you'll hear different variations of it, but if you boiled it down to its most simplest components and did the work yourself, that's the cost. What industry is it in again?
I would sell it as a toy, I guess.
Okay, toy market. There's great toy markets. Good evening. Hey. Oh my God. From Romania, or where'd you fly in from now? You mind if I introduce you a little?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, anybody remember the ShamWow? Or the Chop Shop? That's the inventor right back there. Now she's a member of our United Inventors Association as well, and was back there in Washington with us earlier this year. We're delighted you can make it. Nice to see you. Who else here? First time tonight? New? Are you new? Yes, go ahead, dear.
Hello, my name is Michelle Louisa, and I've been inventing my whole life, but I'm first time taking those action steps, so I'm very excited too. And it's in the multiple industries between toys, clothes, and other amazing ideas as well in hygiene, beauty, as well as therapeutic.
If this is one product that covers all those markets?
No, not at all.
Wow.
No.
My mind was going, wow.
I know, I'm very excited to finally move forward. So.
All right. Well, there's a process. I've again been doing this professionally 30-something years. I do have a spreadsheet. It's called a new product evaluation matrix, and it asks 10 questions, and it lets you be objective about your idea. Many of you have walked in my office with literally a Home Depot bucket of things going, what do you think's best? And it's like, all right, look, there's a procedure.
Top two right now, just focusing.
Good. It's easiest, quickest, least hassle. You know, the lowest hanging fruit is the expression. Very cool. Michelle?
Yes, Michelle Louisa. Thank you.
Michelle, nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Someone was over here first
Monica.
time. Monica,
Yeah.
please.
Well, it's Monica, and I like the beauty industry.
All right.
So I came up with an idea that I have no clue how to start anything, so that's the reason I'm here.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, you're taking the steps. You know what Guy Kawasaki says is the first mistake inventors make? Not taking the first step. So you're on your way. And yes, I'm glad you're here. Pleasure to meet you, Monica. And then right behind her, is somebody else new here? I'll go take this gentleman and put his hand up first. Yes, please.
I'm Bill Sand. I had a baseball cap manufacturing company in San Diego for 30 years.
Ah.
And incidentally, we manufactured all the jacket-in-a-box baseball cap visors in those days and the aprons for 17 years.
Wow.
We closed in 2000 because it went to the other side of the ocean here.
Yeah.
So I'm just a consultant for manufacturing people. I was with American Apparel the last 10 years, helping them make baseball caps for the retail store.
And are you friends with Matt there next to you?
Yes.
Well, a cap guy helping a cap guy. That's the way. That's teamwork. Very cool. Nice to meet you. Thank you. And it was right in front of him? Yes, yes.
My name is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Trying to help my dad retire from the construction business with a medical device that he invented by accident, post-knee surgery.
Okay.
Just helps your knees heal the correct way. And
Yeah. It's
better.
of the over a dozen companies I've started, 4 of them have been medical device companies, and we're talking about a horse of a different color. It's not a horse, it's a zebra. It's a whole different process for actual medical device to have it so the FDA will approve it. And the process is called CFR 820, Code of Federal Regulations 820. It's how to start with the idea and the risk management. It's 99% paperwork and 1% engineering, frankly. And then you file, and there's probably a predicate. Point is, you go through a kind of arduous process to get all the FDA clearances to actually market. Another good reason why you might want to license it early. What stage you're at? Have you got a patent yet? Or
Yeah, he's got a patent for it.
Does have a patent?
Yeah.
Has he made any? I'm sorry, I didn't even ask.
Has he made any?
Mm-hmm.
He's testing it with patients right now, and he's getting a lot of good feedback.
He is? Is he a doctor?
No, but he's part of the doctor.
Excellent. Okay, good. Good, good. That's the whole secret. You can do anything you want. If you don't have the credentials, we'll hire somebody that does. Wonderful. Good luck there. Good luck there. If I could help you, we'll talk about it, okay? Who's next? Who's new here tonight? First time. Use some extra time on this. I'll cut corners later. Yes, sir.
I'm Wendy Inventor.
Hi, Wendy.
I'm super excited to be here. I'm a recovering attorney, and in the past I have so many ideas, and I've just told people if I bump into someone in that particular industry, and say, here's a great idea, take it, run with it. I'm too busy. And currently helping my mother, who's elderly, sort of kind of wrap up the family business a little bit, or at least automate it more. And I always thought in the past, you have to take all the time to get the patent and start a business. We just don't have time for that, and I don't want to do all that. So looking on the internet recently, I was looking at Stephen Key's stuff. So excited. One of the things he said, the first thing you should do is join a group like this.
Yeah.
Check it out, and here I am. And it's perfect timing because
Wonderful.
he's speaking tonight. So
What was your name again?
Wendy.
Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. Welcome, welcome. You instantly gave me flashbacks of another attorney. When we first started this club, her name was Lisa Singer. And she created a thing called Gardens to Grow. And it was first shown off at UTC. And it was a way to create a raised garden so the gophers won't eat all your vegetables. So here's an attorney whose passion was gardening, who was pissed that the gophers were eating all their stuff, who invented a solution, who was told, that's really cool, and it turned out to be a big box item at Home Depot. And so it started here at a club, exactly like you're doing now. I wish you the best and the same sort of success.
Thank you.
Yes?
Am I qualified as a first-timer?
Sure, it's been enough years.
4 years. I'm really heartbreaking to see you, David.
Oh, gosh, thank you so much. Well, I appreciate that.
It's great to see you.
What were you working on? What are you working on?
So I've been spending like the last 6 years playing around with this little idea of a phone charger for emergency situation, like right now in Hurricane Florence. Yeah, you need you hear like a couple million houses gonna lose power, right? So I make this little charger for emergency cases that when you need a charger in a situation like you don't have the power from the outlet or car, you can use your power tool batteries and transform the power tool battery into a phone charger.
Now you patented that?
I didn't patent it. It was going through the patent process, and I got sick for like a couple of years, and I couldn't pursue it.
That's right as well.
The design changed quite a bit since then, so I'm going to redo.
Maybe you can refile. All right.
And I just get my first 1,000 unit orders, and it's going to launch in 30 days.
Oh, well, hey. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Welcome back. Welcome back with all that great news. I'm going to blend this into the next session. So anybody else you just got here, would you like to introduce yourself? Hey, everybody that just introduced yourself, I thank you so much. We're so glad you could be here. Pleasure to meet you, get to know you, and birds of a feather flock together. So hopefully afterwards here, people that heard what your passions are, they might combine with you, okay? All right, next up, the Inventor of the Month. We don't have an Inventor of the Month, new products. Well, this portion of it was, actually I was still here on the Who's New. Most of you already seen this. Those of you that are new, I'll do this quick so we can catch up on time. We are a 501c3. We're here to motivate, educate, and network you. We had a schedule every year. We have a very similar schedule. I don't think it'll change much next year, but one or two subjects might. Every month we have a fantastic speaker that comes and talks about the subject that they're the experts in. So we've had a number of great representatives from different organizations here in town. I already mentioned Judy. Her husband runs one of the best focus groups in the country. He does work for Ford, the big corporations. I mean, if you got $3 grand to pay for a focus group study that thick, that people will invest millions of dollars in, this is the kind of man you go to get that kind of study work done. We've had so many people that are inventors that have been doing it their whole lives, that share their stories, or new inventors that are getting their products to market, and they've all been at different phases and stages, and some medical and some very high tech. This is Ken Stanwood, and he invented Bluetooth. Anybody know what 802.11 is? 100 and something patents that he owns on this, and he actually won a huge patent battle about this last month. So that was a big yay. Anyway, all kinds of inventors have been here to show us their great ideas, and other speakers. Everybody know about Edison Nation? Come on, some of you know about it. It's still out there in our Inventors Digest. Well, that's Louis Foreman is the founder of that. All those people were here, were videotaped. Sydney did most of the video work. We do have a YouTube channel. I'm really happy mine is about third of the most popular. It's the 17 Mistakes Inventors Make. Watch that, spare yourself. Sydney did a great job videotaping a lot of these things for her. Dave's taking the space. Thanks, Dave. Sydney moved on to create Inventors TV. As his passion is to create a channel to have as many video resources as you can find for news and resources and views. The idea originally was to get all the clubs involved, and we're probably going to make it more individualized and personalized. Am I right, Sydney?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So yeah, dive in and find all kinds of resources and great information there. Yeah. So we've kind of done the. Anybody have some great big news items from this month? Last month? And did anybody get a patent issued in the last month? Did anybody file for one in the last month? Yes, yes. Hey, good. All right, all right. Anybody have a first sale, maybe? Or first sales? You got your first order. Yay! Who's had some news they want to share? You guys are just all anxious to hear Steven speak, aren't you? I know, okay. All right, we'll skip that. We'll catch up with that on another time. I'm hoping you all are progressing, are all getting somewhere. I'll admit I'm still chomping away. As I mentioned, today I did the very first pitch for a medtech, the biggest medtech forum in the country. And went up there and I thought I did an awesome job, and they basically told me, no, you forgot this, you forgot that, you forgot this, you forgot that. It's like, this was an introductory 12-slide presentation. They're asking for the 24-slide version. I know these things are necessary, but anyway, that's their job, is to... I think I did a great job. We'll see. Hey, we have a non-pharmaceutical solution to depression and anxiety. Who's interested? Okay, well, yeah. Then again, 1 out of 5 people has a serious mental problem, so that was probably right percentage here. No, it's a huge issue, and I hope I can really make a change in that. I've pioneered a few fields. Back in the late 90s, I pioneered thin film solar cells. They're still just coming out to the market with that now. We could make solar 50 cents a watt 20 years ago. I pioneered wound healing. Had a system that was healing wounds that people had 6 to 8 years. Foot ulcers, diabetic foot ulcers, pressure sores. We're healing those wounds in 6 to 8 weeks. And so we pioneered that area. And now I'm going to reimagine the field of psychiatry. I think you're all getting ripped off at $117 for 45 minutes to talk to a shrink, when you should be able to sit in a little booth and $20 later walk out feeling great, right? That's the idea. Hey, who's got an invention ready to show next month? 1, a 2, a 3, 4, all right, 5, 6. Any more? Any more? 7. The application forms are right there. Only requirement is that you be patent pending or patented. And the prize money is $1,000. And it will be right here next month in this room. We will put up some tables and figure your way to have some space. And it's a popularity contest, but you got to pitch it. You got to get in people, impress upon them what you've got. So please fill out a form and return it to us tonight. You can mail it in. There is a $20 entrance fee. It's not refundable. But if you do get picked, you get a free table. And I think you get free admission to the meeting. Yeah, makes sense. All right, so I wish you the best of luck. It's just one category this year unless we have a lot of entries. Some years we have to do a high-tech version and then a consumer product version. Last couple of years it's just been consumer products, but we'll see how many, what kind of entries we get. Okay? How many are overall interested in getting into the contest, do you think? Let me see, raise your hands. All right, please consider it and please do that, okay? That would be great. We'd love to see what your ideas are, how you're going to change the world, make yourself rich, all that good stuff. Okay, so yeah, let's get on to the show. I'm only 4 minutes behind. How about that? No, I'm actually pretty early. What do you know? You get a whole extra another 20 minutes. Well, it was worth it. That's why I accelerated things.
Getting closer to the stage, you kind of move along.
So,
I'm very subtle about it too, right?
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are welcoming tonight Stephen Key presenting how to sell your idea with or without a patent. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Stephen Key. Let me see if I get the boot.
Well, tonight I'm so happy to be here, but I'm really sad because Adrian's leaving. And he's been such a big part of the whole inventing community. It's amazing. When he told me the news, I was really kind of shocked. I don't know what to do about it, but he's going to be missed, right? And they're going to love him. And I know where he's going, and they're going to love him there, and I'm jealous already. So hopefully it's they'll love you too.
What that's alluding to is there aren't any clubs that I know of right now. I've actually been asked to start a club in Southern Carolina. South Carolina is where we're thinking of moving. It's Columbia.
That's not a good reason to move there.
Yeah. No, he really wants the humidity is what he's spending.
Yeah, I'm not sweating enough yet.
Want the busted up houses from the hurricane.
You know, you guys live in San Diego. You know what's coming up. I'm looking at buying a 5-bedroom home that's got a killer something 1,000-square-foot workshop, a couple acres of land, and an incredible view, trees, all this fun stuff. It's under $150,000. That's a big drive. Did you bring it on the stick?
Yeah, I did.
Let me try that because it said no internet connection.
Well, you have to connect to the Wi-Fi, and it's really super slow to connect to that Wi-Fi.
Okay, let's see how it works on a stick.
You don't have a wired internet.
No, it's all automatically.
Always.
It's running it right now.
Right?
You're showing it.
Oh, well, okay. I don't know, George.
Well, they figured this out. How many people have read One Simple Idea? Raise your hand. Then I should probably leave now. You know what I'm going to talk about. Gee whiz.
Is there another USB port on this?
You like it?
Yeah.
Is it a good book?
Yeah.
No, there's one right there. Thank you.
I'm going to pull it up. It's the presentation.
Well, writing a book is really a pain in the rear end. But I'm really happy that you like it because I poured everything into it. In fact, I gave everything away. You know, I have a coaching program that I've been coaching inventors for over 20 years, and McGraw-Hill said to me, we want you to put everything in your coaching program into a $14 book. I said, you're kidding me, right?
They said, but you'll sell 1 million of them.
There's no next button on this.
I'm still waiting. So we did that. And guess what? It's still a great seller. I'm very proud of it. It's been translated into 6 different languages. And I actually believe it's healthy, right? And I gave it all away. So thank you for purchasing the book. And if you haven't wrote a review on Amazon, please do. And that allows me to do this 3rd edition, right, when people are still reading it. How many people watch my YouTube videos, InventRight TV? Raise your hand. All right. Do you like them? Yeah. Are they like potato chips or what? There's over 450 YouTube videos. 450. Wow. Do we need to make any more?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Should we keep on making more? Yeah. All right, all right.
The more the better.
The more the better? All right.
How many do you do a week?
4.
Wow.
Because there's 4 of us. We all do one a week.
I'm really curious. Mind me. How many of you watched one of Steven's videos? You've been on his site? Okay, if you're interested in licensing and learning the tips, that is the best source in the world, in my opinion, and it's not humble. It's just, that is the best source.
That's where $20 goes pretty far, doesn't it?
Later, it's a beer. Hey, you've got left keys and right keys. Left is back and right is forward. I don't have any other remotes.
That's okay.
You got it from here?
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Okay, I want to step back in time for just a minute because I was remembering the first time I saw my product on a store shelf. And it was back in New York. It was at Toy Fair. It was snowing, and I went into FAO Swartz. And I was a young man. I went in there, and guess what? My product was on the shelf. And it was the most amazing experience. I'll never forget it. Later, a couple years later, I come up with a basketball game. It's called the Michael Jordan Wall Ball. I'm sitting there with my family, and we're watching this commercial, and Michael comes on. He shoots this little Nerf ball that goes in. He says, it's the best looking backboard I've ever seen, and I couldn't be more proud. Now, later, I came up with an idea. I created it at Kinko's, made a prototype there, and all the people at Kinko's was watching me make this little prototype. It was a rotating label. And a year later, Alex Trebek was on TV. It was selling in all the Walmarts. People were dancing in the aisle, twist and learn. I never was so proud. I know what that feeling feels like. And it has nothing to do with the money. It really doesn't. The checks are fantastic, don't get me wrong. But that feeling of climbing that mountain, that feeling of sharing your idea with the world is remarkable. Now, how many people are struggling here tonight, today, for the last couple of years, taking their ideas and bringing them to market? Raise your hand. You're struggling? I know you are, and I know what that feels like. Because you're putting all your hard work into it. You're talking to your spouse, you're driving the spouse crazy about it. Your friends don't invite you over anymore because you cannot stop talking about it. So tonight we're going to do something really different. I'm going to show you a way that anybody can do this. Right? And I think you truly can. And in fact, I don't think, I know. I've done it my whole career. I have students that have done it right in 60 different countries for the last 20 years. And we do see a licensing deal every single week. You can do it. But you have to get out of your own mind a little bit. Right? And you have to educate yourself a little bit. But you have to get in the game. Because I believe everyone can do this. And tonight I'm going to show you how to do it. All right? That's my goal. And if I don't do it tonight, you please tell me. So everybody thinks, I love this too.
To the right or to the left? The right is the forward. Hit it one more time, because you have one blank slide. There you go.
Okay. I got it. The traditional business model you're hearing, you probably have heard it here, you're going to hear it at school, you've been taught this, attorneys are telling you this, that hey, if you got a great idea, the only way to bring it to market is that you have to start a business. Oh, gee, start a business? No, that means you're going to have to raise money. That means you're going to have to write a business plan, advertisement, everything. You're going to have to do all this work. And even when you're successful, after 5 years, and you've risked all this money, and you have your product out there, there's a good chance someone's going to come along and they're going to compete with you pretty fast. Guarantee it. I can guarantee if you have a successful product, you're going to have someone that's going to be right behind you so fast, it's going to make your head just spin. That's the traditional model. I don't like this model. I don't like it at all. I think there's a lot of risk. And I think the chances of success are very low. I also think today it's about speed because of the internet. I think you got to be fast. This is slow. And this is what they're teaching at all the universities. In fact, I'm going to teach my first class at the University of Newcastle in Australia coming February. It's accredited. And I'm going to teach a whole new generation how to license ideas. Because I think this is old. But this is what we've been taught. Right? But this is hard. What I'm going to show you tonight is much, much easier. And I'm going to show you how to increase your chances of success. That's the trick here. Right? Okay, so let's see if I can get another one moving here. Yeah, it's not for everybody, you guys. A lot of people don't have the time, money, experience, or even the desire to start a business. I think it's old. I think you can do it if you want to. It's fantastic. But you cannot do that with all your ideas, right? Think about it. You're not going to start a business for every idea you have, right? So I don't think it's a great business model for us creative types. There is another way. It's called licensing. You're basically going to rent an idea to a company, and they're going to do all the heavy lifting. I want to start at the very beginning, and I'm going to go through some of this stuff very fast because I'm going to get into all the details next. But it's really simple. I was at Santa Clara University. I was a freshman. I was a business major. I don't know how I got in. I guess they let anybody in back then. And I'm a business major. My dad was in business. I thought that was a great thing to do. So sure enough, I'm in there and I'm realizing, oh, geez, I hate all this stuff. This is horrible. Everybody's got pocket protectors, you know, and they're got a little briefcase. And everybody's having a good time. I don't like it. So I take an art class by mistake, and I realized I love working with my hands. In fact, I loved it so much, I went home, I told my dad, I said, Dad, I want to be an artist. And he said, well, that's great. He said, you must like to draw. And I said, well, no. He goes, well, you want to paint? You're a painter? I said, no. So my dad gave me some really good advice, because my dad was really a smart guy. He said, look, find something you really love to do and you never work a day in your life. He knew being an artist was going to be a tough road for me. But he also knew that if I didn't follow my dreams, I was going to regret it later. He knew that. He was a very smart man. And he was so smart, I'll say today, I've never worked a day in my life, because I did make that leap. Yeah, that's not going to show up. That's okay. So what did I do? I transferred over to San Jose State University, enrolled in the art department, and started trying to be an artist. And I realized, well, that wasn't going to work very well either. And so what does the guy do? Well, I kind of I thought I graduated. Little did I know, I didn't, one of my teachers, professors, didn't pass me. But I didn't care. I thought, well, I'm just going to create my own job. So what did I do? I just started selling stuffed animals at street fairs. Wow, that's a good idea, isn't it? How did I come up with that? What was I thinking? So that's exactly what I did. For the last 5 years, I went out to street fairs, county fairs, state fairs, wherever I could set up a table and I would make something that stayed out there. And guess what? My friends and family thought I was absolutely out of my mind.
I did a real job, you loser.
I only heard that a couple times. Maybe more than that. But you know what I learned by doing it? I learned how to create something that someone wanted. The most important lesson I ever learned. Because if you don't do that, you don't eat.
Customers won't come back.
You know? You won't pay the rent, you won't eat. So I learned to test real quick. I wanted to test my ideas so fast, and I could test them on a Friday or a Saturday. I could take them out there and see if someone bought it. How to test it? They were stuffed animals, things out of nylons. There's nothing fancy. That allowed me to test the market, right? And I really loved it. It was the most important lesson I ever learned. In fact, some of the things I'm going to tell you tonight is how to test the market too. Because you cannot test the market if you're starting a business, filing patents, building prototypes, 5 years later, now take it to market. That's not testing the market first. I believe in testing the market fast and let the market tell you if they want it or not. Because everything else is easy if the market wants it. My first job, I'm in Fremont, California. It's Sunday morning. I'm reading the Sunday paper, and there's this article about this talking teddy bear called Teddy Ruxpin, and there's a startup called Worlds of Wonder, and they were going to bring that product to market. And it was a prototype picture, and Teddy looked really ugly. I thought, I'm just going to go down there and knock on that door on Monday morning. And that's exactly what I did. I walked down on Fremont, knocked on the door, and I walked in there and said, you guys need me. And guess what? They didn't know any better. They hired me. They're all a bunch of engineers.
Do you have a picture of the original one?
I have the prototype in my office. If you watch YouTube videos, you'll see the first prototype. And guess what? It was my first job. I'm only 27. Is that late? Is that late? And sure enough, I I remember getting my first paycheck. Oh, couldn't believe it. Went in, looked at it, I go, something's wrong with this check. So I went down to Human Resources, knocked on that door, showed them the check, and go, they said, Mr. Key, there's such thing as taxes. Now that's how naive I was at that time. But you know what, Worlds of Wonder was great. They sent me over to the Far East. I was head of design at Worlds of Wonder, and I went over to the Far East and helped produce Teddy Ruxpin and laser tag. And when I was on that production line, the first month I was pretty happy, second month not so happy, third month I want to get the hell out of there. And I noticed a light went on that the creator of Teddy Ruxpin, Ken Forsey, wasn't there. But I was there. And it dawned on me something my father told me. He said, in order to create great wealth, you have to find something that does not require these.
Your own hands.
Or your presence. And that has a multiplying effect. It was licensing. He had rented his idea to Worlds of Wonder. Ken Forsey had licensed this idea to Worlds of Wonder, and they were doing all the heavy lifting. And that's what it dawned on me. That's what I wanted to do. So I finally got back, and I quit Worlds of Wonder and started my own company, Stephen Key Design. And lesson number 3, that's my father told me. I didn't get it at the time, but he was right. You can always, if you're happy with what you're doing, count up your last paycheck. That's what my father told me. Everything's in math. So if you're working a job, figure out what your raise is going to be and work your whole career. Look at the dollar amount. If you're happy with that, then you're perfect. But if you're not happy with that, and I think a lot of us inventors and entrepreneurs aren't happy with the ceiling. I don't want a ceiling. I want, if I have a good idea and it goes to the moon, I want to go to the moon with it. And that's what I loved about licensing. And I saw Ken Forsey, he was receiving $1 million in royalty checks every month. Yeah, $1 million a month. So what do I do today? I consider myself back then a product artist. Inventor? Oh, gee, what a title that is, right? That's a big title. I have been at times, but most of the time I'm a product artist. And what do? I make small improvements on existing ideas. Small improvement on existing ideas. I don't try to reinvent the wheel. It's too hard. I'm not that talented. I just see little things and change them up a little bit. And the first thing I changed up was that indoor basketball. Again, it looked like this. I brought it home. I love playing basketball. I'm fairly tall. And it was square. It was boring. So I thought, I love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan should be big. So I went down to Hallmark, took a poster, cut it out, slapped it on the backboard. And I was loving it. And I loved it so much, I couldn't wait for my wife to get home. See, I met this brilliant woman, smartest one I ever met, at Worlds of Wonder. She had a red dress on. I remember the first time I saw her. I was in the back of the room at one of our meetings, getting as low as I can so no one would call on me. And there's this beautiful woman in a red dress, just running the company. She was everything I wasn't I wanted to be. And I was able to sell her. Because I was a diamond in the rough. And she bought it. And we moved to the creative capital of the world, Modesto, California. This is so much fun, I can't believe it. And she got a job at Gallo Winery, the highest ranking woman in the history of the company, vice president of marketing. She went to Stanford. She got her master's degree at Kellogg, Northwestern. I mean, she is smart. So I'm thinking, and her specialty is new products. How is that going to work? So she goes to work, making the big money. I'm there sketching my little sketch bag, working my rear end off all day long. She'd get home, and we'd climb into bed, and she said, "How was your day, honey?" I go, "It was great." I came up with these great ideas. She goes, well, let's see them. Bad idea, guys. Sketch pad in the bed. And the very last idea was this basketball game in the shape of Michael Jordan. And she said, I love that idea. She goes, that's a terrible idea. She said, that idea, the chances of you licensing that idea are 1 in a million. She said, forget about it. Forget about it. So the very next day I sent it off to Ohio Art. And 3 days later, a contract came in the mail.
Wow.
3 days.
Wow.
It sold for 10 years. The Michael Jordan wall ball sold for 10 years as every major retailer. And there was even a little commercial on Saturday morning. I'm sitting there on the end of the couch, Janice is on this end. My kids are here. Cartoons come on. I'm sitting there. Michael Jordan shows up, shoots a little Nerf ball, goes in, says, best looking backboard I've ever seen. And I look over at my wife, and she looks back at me, and the lesson I learned was that there's only one opinion that matters. And the opinion that matters is not me, your spouse, your friend, anybody. It's the company you're going to show your idea to. That was a very important lesson, because if I had listened, I wouldn't have collected royalties for 10 years on an idea that cost me $10 to make, on an idea that had no intellectual property whatsoever, on a throwaway idea, an idea that took me 2 seconds to come up with. So don't listen to people. Get your ideas in front of companies and let them tell you if you're crazy or not. All right. I love telling that story. I remember the first time I told that story in front of her, too. She doesn't come with me anymore. All right, here we go. We're going to move faster. Yeah, I've licensed over 20 products in many different companies doing the same exact thing, and I'm going to show you how to do it in a minute. There's a few. The benefits of licensing, you guys, I don't have to tell you, there's no risk. You don't have to quit your day job. You don't have to mortgage your house. You can focus on being creative. But guess what? It's speed. That's what I love about it. It's so fast, right? And you're letting the company do all the heavy lifting. And guess what? It's that multiplying effect. No one's going to stop my creativity now, right? I can come up with hundreds of ideas, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And there's ways of doing that. And there's ways of even speeding up what I'm going to show you tonight. So let's jump in. Let's go. I'm going to bypass something here because I'm going to give you the roadmap tonight again. And you probably have seen it in one simple idea, right? I'm going to go through it again. I'm going to probably add a couple things that maybe you haven't heard, all right? But what I like about licensing, here it is. Here's the big one. My early student was a gentleman that became very famous. Has anybody heard of Tim Ferriss? Yes. Yeah, he used to come to all my seminars back in the day. And he'd hang around. He'd wear leather. He'd ride a motorcycle, sit in the back of the room, and just kind of stare at me. And he realized I had hacked the system. Right? He's all about hacking. I don't know, what the hell's hacking? But he had noticed that what I was teaching people was that let's sell the benefit first. And that's really hard for product developers, engineers. That's hard for everybody. Let's sell the benefit first. But if you ask an engineer that, he says, no, engineer would tell you, no, I have to work out all the little details. I can't show an idea to a company that I don't even know might not work. I'm like, yes, you can. You can. You can show them an idea. You don't even know if it's going to work. But you're showing the benefit of that idea. Because if you can sell the benefit, I can do the rest. In fact, my attorney over 20 years, he gave me great advice. He said, Steve, protection, easy. Selling, a little harder. He was right. So my whole program about InventRight, and why we see so many deals, our students are selling the benefit first. Meaning they can come up with a lot of ideas. They can generate a lot of ideas. And that can bog down in some of the things that are being taught. All right, study the marketplace. You guys, this is so easy to do. When I was doing it back in the day, we had a fax machine, no internet, and the fastest thing I could get to a company was next day FedEx. It was slow. But this is the first thing you have to do. Even if you're going to venture an idea, license an idea, you have to look at the landscape, understand what other companies are doing, right? You have to understand where your idea fits in. And you do that by doing a Google image search, right? You can see everything in the world if you do a Google image search. Just search, search, and search. And if you see your idea, well, maybe you walk away. But it's really good if you see something close to your idea. Oh, there's a market for it. See, what I told you earlier, I take existing ideas and just change them a little bit. The reason why, I know there's a market for them. Wow, I took away some risk, right? If there's a market for it, oh, that's great. And if I make a little change, that's great too, because I know there's going to be a next change. There's going to be the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So I'm just trying to get out ahead of it, because I know it's coming. That's taking away a little risk and increasing your chances of success. So stay in the marketplace, you do it 2 ways. Google image search and prior patent searching. That's so much fun. You don't find that fun? You don't like to, you know, if you're having a hard time sleeping at night, just read a patent, right? That'll put you to sleep. I really like doing this, and I'll tell you the reason why. It tells you the history of innovation. Of any particular product, you can study that thread and see how it started and all the other people. I like that. It tells a story, because I want to be the next one. So I love prior art. I really like it. But don't go crazy, because you'll never find everything. It's impossible. You could search forever and still not find it. But it's fun to see how people are thinking. But I don't care about prior art when I come up with an idea either, though. If I have an idea that has a patent on it, but it hasn't come to market, fair game.
That's right.
That's what that means. I'm not scared of prior art. Something went wrong. Either the inventor didn't know how to bring it to market, or he threw too much into it, or knew nothing about manufacturing, or the technology wasn't there at the time. I don't care about it, because I know if there's prior art, there's a prior patent, but it hasn't come to market, I just got to find out why. That's why, but I love to know about prior art, because if I'm going to negotiate with the company and they say, hey, isn't there prior art? I'll say, absolutely there is. But guess what? It never came to market. And this is why my invention is, because I figured it out. You flip it and you use it. Those are 2 ways to stay in the marketplace. Learn to love looking for prior art. It's fun. And I do it with Google Patents, USPTO site. They're a government agency. I love them. Is this being recorded? Hi! Okay, evaluate your ideas. I just told you, this is what I do. Is it easy to manufacture? If you can learn that, fine, do it. Not on every project. If you make a small improvement, hey, they're doing this, I made a small improvement, yeah, they could probably do it. All right, that's pretty simple. Is it easy to demonstrate? Or do I have to explain it? Or do I have to educate you on my idea? That's a deal killer, you guys. It's going to take too much time, too much money. So make sure you've got an idea that's got a big market, easy to demonstrate it, and it's easy to manufacture. Very, very critical. Now, you're not going to have all those answers, too. Try to get them if you can. Prototypes. Who likes to build prototypes here? Raise your hand. Stop doing that. Stop building prototypes.
3D print.
Because you know what you like to do? You like to build one, you build the next one, you build the next one, you build the next one, right? Okay, stop building them. You're hiding in your prototype. That's what you're doing because it's safe. Isn't it? I love building prototypes. Right? But I know what I've realized? It's not about prototype building. Prototypes can come later. Right? Because what happens is, because you build a prototype, maybe you're not doing something that's more important than that. Like selling the benefit of your prototype. Selling the benefit of your idea. And guess what? With 3D computer-generated graphics, do you even have to build one now?
Hey, man. Yeah, you do. Trust me, the guys behind the computer don't always have their brains all together.
Well,
It's not stuff
there-
you can't make.
But to sell the idea, it doesn't necessarily have to be
I'll buy
in
that.
hand.
no, wait. There's a time to build it. All right, because building prototypes, you learn a lot. Building prototypes actually allows you to file great intellectual property. But do I do that first? That's my question I have. So, 3D computer generated, I love it. I've seen students show me the ugliest sketch on a napkin. Just looks like, what is that thing?
Well, you gotta look at it this way. There you see it.
And next thing you know, they send it through to a 3D computer generated graphic artist and it goes, whoo, comes to life. For what, 50 bucks, 100 bucks?
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty affordable. No, we're probably working overseas for that price. Okay, step number 4. You have to be able to describe your idea in one sentence. You have to. That takes good marketing. That's so hard to do. That's a copywriter, right? They pay people big dollars to do that. They pay people big dollars for you on the internet to click on things you really don't want to click on. That's a one-line benefit statement. It used to be newspaper ads, a headline. Oh, I gotta have it. It's one-line benefit statement, right? You have to be good at that, and it takes a lot of practice. I tell everybody, come up with 10, and guess what? It's going to be way too long. Because everybody likes to put their kitchen sink in it. It does this, it does this, it does this. Stop. Big benefit. Really the big benefit. What does it really do? Why do I care? That's your one-line benefit statement. Test it out on your friends. See if they understand it. That one-line benefit statement has to have enough wow, whatever you want to call it, for them to want more, to look at it for more. So practice it. That's so important. Steve Jobs was the master at this. When he launched the iPod, I guess it was, 1,000 songs in your pocket. Can you imagine what Bill Gates would have written that one-line benefit statement? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on. Marketing materials. I love sell sheets. You guys, the number one tool to license an idea is a great sell sheet or a great video. Number one. And sell sheets. I've been talking about sell sheets for so long I thought I invented them. Until my wife came to one of these talks. And she said, Steve, I told you about sell sheets. They teach that in like marketing schools, but it's real simple. Your sell sheets is a one-page advertisement. That's all it is. But it's done in such a way it's easy to understand, right? And it has one-line benefit statement. It might have a picture, like here, a big picture. It has 3 other little pictures. Tells a story. That's all it is. Don't throw in how you invented it, what problem you're solving, how many you're going to sell, how big the market is. Don't do that. Do it in such a way that they could show that to their end customer. Do it in such a way that you take that and put an ad in that magazine. Do it in such a way you're driving down the freeway, it's 70 miles an hour, and you look up at a billboard and you go, wow, I got it, I want it. That's a sell sheet. And guess what? I see a lot of terrible sell sheets. It takes a little bit of practice, and if you're not a good graphic designer, find someone that is. Go to Upworks, go to Fiverr, find someone that's really, really good at it, right? And make sure your one-line benefit statement is really, really strong. And the other thing are the videos. How many people watch these DRTV videos late at night? Come on, as seen on TV. Yeah, don't you hate them? Are they goofy? Do they work? Yes, they work. You know what's so great about those 1-minute commercials? They're such a powerful selling tool. It's amazing how great they are. So I like to tell everybody, copy that format because it works. It works so well, people buy stuff. It's a formula. Problem, solution. The problem. It's gray, black and white. People are frowning. Next 45 seconds. Rainbows. Dogs. Everybody's happy. That's such a great, it shows emotion, shows the solution. And you can do it now yourself. I've seen some amazing little videos on your camera. And guess what? You can cheat. Your product doesn't even have to work. Or maybe just one time. You catch it on film. And that's what's great about these sales videos. They're remarkable. You can have someone do it for you. You can do it yourself. But keep it to about a minute if you can. Have a wow factor if you can figure one in there. Even better, right? That's so much better than a sell sheet today, because everybody watches videos, right? Make it entertaining. If you're not a great speaker, do a voiceover. That's even better. Do a little storyboard. Shoot a couple different angles. Give it to someone to edit it. You'll be surprised. Go to all the DRTV, as seen on TV. Watch all their commercials, right? Borrow and steal as much as you can from those guys because they're the best at this. Right? Their format is remarkable. All right. Do companies steal ideas? Adrian, come on. Do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Only the big ones that are on TV.
The ones that are successful, sorry.
Well, this is a very difficult or delicate situation here. I don't think they do. I think they work around you. It's another way of saying they rip you off. But I think they work around you. Right? They might look at your patent. They might know that maybe they can change something. Now there's an argument in court for it. Right? Does it feel like they violated you? Yes. Does it feel like the worst feeling in the world? Absolutely. Because I had to take a little toy company to court, Lego, and little company. And I learned the hard way that you can call it whatever you want. When anybody copies you, it feels like a great violation. I just don't think it happens as much as we think it does. And I think it's going to happen less. I think it's going to happen less for two reasons. Number one, social media. If you're a smart entrepreneur, you've got a product that's launching, tell your story. Make it an original. Be the original. Get your story out there. Go to all the retailers. Make sure they know who you are. So when that guy copies you, they know they're not the original. It takes a lot of work to do that. Right? Retailers don't want the copycats. They don't want social media problems. Companies don't want it either. So I think today, because of the internet, if you're a lousy player, you're exposed. That's what I think today. If you're a lousy player, you cannot hide on the internet anymore. Right? Has anybody checked me out on the internet? Raise your hand. Oh, I know you all have. Have you found anything yet? You know why? It's not worth it to me. And the companies that aren't on social media, don't trust them. Isn't that funny? Why? Why are some companies on social media and some are not? Why? They probably don't want people complaining. That's a great way of testing out a company. Are they on social media? Or type in their name, type in complaints and see what comes up. You cannot hide today. That's why I think we're cleaning up this industry a little bit as we go. And I know patents are a big issue. And I know that Adrian said licensing is the way to go. I always felt that being an independent inventor, we were at a disadvantage. I always felt that big companies always had the advantage over us. They have more money than us, better distribution than us. I don't care if they have patents. I don't care who has patents. They're bigger and stronger than we are. It's gotten worse now. Can you still fight it? Absolutely. All those companies, all those ideas that get licensed and invent right, there's never a patent involved. But here's the deal. If you've got a big idea, right? If you've got a startup company and you need a wall of patents, we need stronger patent rights. We do. But for most of our ideas that are pretty simple, most ideas that go in and out of the market pretty fast, right? Not bad. Why do you need a patent? I don't think you do. And even if you had a patent, can you stop anybody on Amazon from selling your product? It's impossible. Apple cannot fight it. It costs now $2.8 million to litigate it. So why are we fighting patents so much? We need stronger patents for two reasons. Number one, it's the right thing for our country. But number two, don't let that think that's what you need. What you need is a good idea, good company looking for ideas, and good marketing material. That's what you need. Because what I found, companies don't care about patents. How many people watch Shark Tank? Raise your hand. Oh, you got to stop that too. every time I listen to Shark Tank, yeah, do you have a patent on that? Well, how many people want to go to court, right? And you can't stop it, right? It's really hard today. So I think there's a way of fighting back, but do companies steal ideas? I think there's some bad players. Avoid them. Type in their name, type in the complaints. Don't deal with them. And tell your story on social media. And guess what? And license it to a bigger player. That's how you do it. In fact, I interviewed Thomas Massey, Congressman Thomas Massey. He has a bill too. You know what he told me? How to fight back? License it. Because now you got a big company fighting for you. So it falls into what I believe very much. All right, let's move on. No patent required. We have any patent attorneys here? I should have asked that earlier. Come on, raise your hand. Now you're not going to raise your hand. I know you're out there somewhere. Let me see if I can point you out. I know. Let me see. All right. I think all you need is a well-written provisional patent application to license an idea. If it's a big idea, you're probably going to need multiple provisional PPAs, and you're going to need a lot of other stuff too. Tonight I'm talking about big, small ideas. I wouldn't say small ideas, I'd say simple ideas. Big, complex ideas, you're going to need a wall of patents, right? And it's more complicated. But for what I'm talking about, consumer products that go in and out fairly quick, now all I see is a provisional patent application. But it needs to be written well. And most people don't know how to do that. And I could talk all night about that alone. Yeah, we have students in over 60 countries. Yep. I'm going to go through this quick. We have students that license toys. Scott Bauman's licensed over 40 ideas just in the toy industry alone. One of our students, of course, did the Art Splash, won the toy box. DRTV, Hot Dog Delicious. That's Warren Tuttle. Does everybody know Warren Tuttle? I know you do. Good guy? You know. He brought this to the market for Scott. Pancake Bot, has anybody seen that?
We had the inventor here when he had just come out with it and just came back from England to show it to Prince Charles or something.
Yeah, he was here, I think, when I was here a while back. Miguel, he lives over, great guy, created this wonderful product.
Amazing what you can do with some Legos and a ketchup bottle and make a prototype.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. It just goes on and on, you guys. I could go on, all these products that get licensed. We even had someone license a technology to one of the top truck companies.
Wasn't Keith Mullen one of your students?
Keith Mullen.
He's been here to our group a number of times.
He's pretty popular.
San Diego.
Smart man. He's licensed tons of stuff.
He's got so many, yeah.
Yeah, this is a product here that eliminates the plastic rings. And you'll be seeing that more and more because those plastic rings are not good, right? And it's a very simple, elegant design. So we have students in all different areas. So simple doesn't mean like, it doesn't mean not profitable. It just means it's simple, easy to demonstrate, easy to manufacture, large market, and it doesn't take a lot of education to explain it. That's what I mean by simple. Big ideas, oh geez. You need copyrights, trademarks, you need a wall of patents, you need some attorneys, you're going to need financing, you're going to need capital, you're going to need, it goes on and on and on.
I'm going to show them a list later. That's the reason why we rather license.
It's a pretty daunting thing. The reason why it requires all that is that companies are going to make a big capital investment. Right, simple. They want to be able to hedge some of that risk. Makes sense. One of my ideas, SPINformation. I love talking about this because this is one idea that made a lot of money for me, but technically it wasn't, I wouldn't say it's success. Depends on how you measure it, right? Would you say $10 million was that a failure? Would someone say that's a failure?
No.
Yeah. That's
Depends
what
on
that.
how much you invested to make that 10,000, so the ROI would benefit or justify your.
It was all licensed. They paid for all the patents, right? So basically nothing. But $10 million, in my opinion, it failed because that should have been hundreds of millions of dollars. But $10 million sounds like a lot. 500 million labels sounds like a lot. But technically, no, not really. Those are big ideas. Because in the label industry, Coca-Cola does 1 billion labels a day.
Why didn't it go to what you expected?
I wasn't prepared for it. I was a little younger, a little inexperienced. I didn't realize when the door opens, you work harder. You don't work less. And what I should have done when I had a little pushback from companies, I should have just jumped in and started building equipment. I should have got into the game of financing equipment so there's no obstacles. A little over my head, technically. But I was able to license it for 20 years. Made royalties. The minimum guarantees were $750,000. Made a lot of money. But it could have made so much more. So licensing is a really interesting business model. It's in you see it in water, and a lot of the colleges have it on water stadiums. I was back in Bozeman, Montana for a graduation, and everybody was spinning the label at the stadium. It was a big kick to see it. It was on Nescafe coffee in Japan. That was the technology that the little toy company liked so much. Oh, there you go. That had 20 patents on one idea. 20 patents on an idea that was already patented 70 years ago. I'll say that one more time. I thought I invented this idea of a rotating label. And little did I know, I paid someone $1,800 back in Washington, D.C. to look at prior art. And they said, guess what, there isn't any. And later I found out, yes, they missed 2. And they were so easy to find, I'm surprised they missed them. The bottom line is, I didn't invent it. And I saw it, and everybody says, you'll never make a dime. But I couldn't realize why wasn't it on the market. And the reason why it wasn't on the market, they didn't know how to manufacture it. So I went into manufacturing, I learned, asked a lot of questions, and filed 20 patents on the manufacturing of it. So all those companies paid me on an idea I didn't invent. But I invented the manufacturing of it. Patents are really fun things. I'm fascinated by them. People think I'm anti-patent. I really am not. Just when do you need one is the catch. All right, moving along. We're moving fast. Patent search, USPTO, yes, and you can have it done on the outside. Learn how to do prior search. Do it yourself. Learn. Take a class at the USPTO. Learn as much as you can. It's so much fun. It's like finding a needle in the haystack. So much fun. All right, build a prototype. I do think if you're going to go forward with an idea, if a company likes it, build a prototype as fast as you can. Learn as much as you can what works and what doesn't work. And file provisional patent applications on what works. Yes, that's when you build a prototype. You want to know more about it than anybody else. Absolutely, because if that's money's coming in, you want to protect it. Perceived ownership, especially for the big ideas. So yes, I love building prototypes, but when do you build them? I don't know if you build them at the very beginning, because I think you might go down that road and spend too much time. Learn about manufacturing. I do video. I love the videos on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube, isn't it? It's all there. Okay. All right. I'm gonna. What I like to do in my provisional patents applications, I like to try to steal it from myself. I like to think I'm an engineer at some other company that sees my idea for the first time. And engineers, how many engineers you got in the room? I know there's a lot of them in here.
My first patent was a design around too, so
they teach it. So your idea lands there, and some smart engineers, they cannot stop trying to refigure it around. So try to steal it from yourself and put that information in your provisional patent application. That's what saved me in federal court. You can write your own. We sell a program called Smart IP from Gene Quinn. It's absolutely awesome. But you can have have a patent agent or someone else, but learn how to do it yourself.
It's only a few $1,000 difference.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. Include a lot of drawings. Drawings are worth 1,000 words. You cannot have enough drawings in your provisional patent application. And label them. Label all the parts. Dumb it down so if a kindergarten child can understand it. Make it simple as you can. You become the expert and only you. I think we put too much trust in individuals sometimes. If someone says they're going to do all the work for you, don't believe it. Never happened. If someone tells you they're going to do all the work for you, don't believe it. It will never happen. I think you have to take care of your own destiny. I think you have to work hard. And I think you have to be the expert, only you. And so if anybody promises you, I'm going to do this and this, think twice about it, because I just don't see the way it works that way. So you can become an expert in it. You've seen this before, PPAs, 1 year, you can do it yourself, fun, fun, fun. I want to I'm going to speed this up because I only have a minute left. I want to make sure, I gave a couple books out called Getting In. And if you didn't get one, you can sign a newsletter here. I will only pester you once a week if you do. But you'll get this free ebook of how to get into companies. And this book has been developed by all our coaches and by myself. And everybody's put all this information together. So in licensing, you have to reach out to a company, see if you want your idea. If you want to know step by step and even have a template of what to say, get this little free book. It's called Getting In. And you can just fill that out. And if you don't want to fill it out, just go to my website and you can fill it out there. I don't care. But get it. It's pretty current of how to use LinkedIn, social media, or call them directly how to get into companies. Makes it really easy. Free ebook. The gray area. Why do companies license ideas if you don't own anything? I mean, you got to be thinking about that, right? Why are they going to pay you if you don't own anything at all? Why did they pay me for the Michael Jordan wobble? I didn't own anything.
Because they saw their benefit. As they saw the product, they knew there was money to be made.
He's absolutely right. It's called open innovation. Companies realize we're going to open the doors and look at a lot of ideas from a lot of people. And that's growing. That's outpacing R&D. It's outpacing any crowdfunding. It's the #1 thing companies are doing now. They're sourcing ideas from the crowd. They're going to open their doors. It's called open innovation. And when your product lands on someone's desk, CEO, imagine your product lands on the CEO's desk. It's right there. He brings in the manufacturing guy. Hey, what do you think? Can you make it? And the guy says, yeah, I can actually make this. Brings the marketing person in. He goes, guess what? I can market this. He brings the attorney in, and the attorney says, well, does he own anything? Right? And then the CEO goes, do we care? Because at the bottom line is, are we going to sue somebody? Will he get a patent? Yes or no? No one can say yes or no because they see a well-written provisional patent application. It creates this area of gray. No one knows. So know what a CEO says? Let's run with it. That's what we're seeing. They're smart now because they're realizing we cannot chase everybody on the internet. It's too hard. So that's why they're signing all these licensing agreements. I won't go through that. That's a great thing because I want to say something else too because I don't want to take up too much time. There's a win-win strategy here. Always be reasonable. Don't ask for too much. Understand their business. And if you want to know this win-win strategy, have you picked up the book, How to License an Idea with or Without a Patent? Has anybody? Yeah. All right. If you don't, check it out. It's from me on Amazon. It has my nice mug on there. An old picture of myself. And it's How to License an Idea with or Without a Patent. And it's so good, even the USPTO invites me to talk on it. And then guess what? They sell patents. So they know I'm talking and I talk about the win-win strategy of how to get those licensing deals when you have zero. So pick it up. I think you'll enjoy it. Numbers game. But I want to do one thing before I hand it over. You have to belong to an inventors group.
Why?
because this is your community. Simple. And you need to support your community. It's the easiest thing to do. It's the most affordable thing to do. Right? When you support, see, I see myself here. That's why I'm here. I see myself. I've been in one of these groups. I met my partner Andrew Krause in one of these groups. We're here. We're a family. We're all together. That's why I'm here. So support your organization, right? Be part of it. Contribute. Support it. Meet other people, like-minded individuals. Stop talking so much about it to your friends and your spouse, because they don't want to hear it. So come here and talk about it. So join your group. They're so affordable. I also have a flyer that you pick up. There's other resources that are absolutely free. I love free. How many people love free? You like free? I love free. The YouTube videos, they're free. Also, I have a new organization, Adrian mentioned it, called Inventors Groups of America. I believe we have, Lindsay, I want Lindsay to hear this. Don't go away. Can you hear my pitch right here? Inventor Groups of America, we have the largest free resource in the world to inventors. There's no other organization that's giving that much information, guess what, absolutely 100% free. It's got over 500 companies looking for ideas. It's got thousands of resources of people that can help you. And I put it all together for one reason only, to give it away. Now there's only one catch. You have to sign up and become a member. And when you become a member, you help us have a voice in Washington, D.C. on stronger patents. Right? Because we are together in this. Please check it out. There's a flyer there. Go to inventleaders.org. You'll see Adrian's there. He was there helping us set this whole thing up. And you'll find out it's a brand new organization trying to help you. I believe you cannot give enough away. Period. So we're going to keep on building it, and we're going to make it as free can be. Also, one last thing. On that flyer, I was inspired. I became a AAAS Limbelson Invention Ambassador. I can barely say it. With 7 other inventors that have inventions that are changing the world, and they included me this year as an ambassador. Why? I don't know. And I still don't know. But what I did realize, the struggles that you are having, they are having too. It's common. In fact, when you look, there's some videos on the flyer. Go there and check it out, and you'll see some amazing inventors that have inventions that are changing the world. It will take your breath away. It gave me newfound, it inspired me to keep going with this. It inspired me to keep teaching and reaching out to people and saying, you can do this. Because they're fighting for their inventions just like you are too. We're all here together, and I cannot thank you, Adrian, enough for inviting me here tonight. So, thank you, everybody.
Questions? Any questions right now? You know you'll be able to talk to Stephen right after this as well. Yes?
I just had a quick question. When found out the spin label was not being manufactured, well, how did you find that out? Did you contact the previous patent holder from 20 years prior? Or?
No, I was in a meeting at Procter & Gamble. See, I made this sample at Kinko's, and I sent it off to 100 companies. And I got rejected by 100. But one company said, yes, that was Rexall Sundown. But in the meantime, P&G invites me out. Procter & Gamble invites me out from Modesto. So I told my wife, put the red dress on. we're going out. And sure enough, I get there. The guy takes me out to lunch. My wife says, this is not going to go well. We go out to lunch, and I'm walking across the grass, and the sun is shining on my face. I feel like $1 million. And I told the guy, thank you for lunch. And he looked at me and goes, Mr. Key, remember one thing. There's no such thing as a free lunch. I got in the meeting, and basically they handed all the prior art to me. And he said, Mr. Key, this was invented 70 years ago. We're not going to pay you one penny. And they all walked out. They did the best thing in my life because they gave me the keys to the kingdom. Because once I saw the prior art, I figured it out. There was no manufacturing in it. That's what I found out.
Like just when you saw the prior
I saw the patent. The patent was exactly my idea. Not a little bit, exactly. Gotta love telling that story too.
Anybody have other questions? Yes?
Can you speak? Hi, Stephen. It's Michelle. Can you speak a little bit towards when to jump in on LLC, trademarking, if applicable, copywriting, and timing?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Those are 4 questions.
You know, for an LLC, what I recommend, and I'm not a tax attorney, so there's my disclaimer up there, or tax attorney, but I say wait, right? Wait till you get a deal. Don't ever sign a licensing agreement in your name. Make sure it's in some type of business entity. LLCs are very, actually, I live in Nevada, so it's really cheap. California, not so much. So, it's like $800, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Delaware's not bad.
Yeah, so I would wait. I think you can. I think you're fine. One last thing I want to, well, not last thing, but what I want to mention, companies don't care what you did last year. They don't care. They only care about one thing. What are you showing me now? So you don't have to have this portfolio. You don't have to have this fancy website. You don't need any of that. All they care about is what are you showing me today, right? And so copyrights, affordable, those are really affordable, right? Provisional patent applications, those are affordable too. Patents, not so much. But trademarks, pretty affordable. I would not recommend filing a trademark myself because companies, when they license, like to use their own names. And you want them to, because you want them to have some ownership in it, right?
So if you have a design patent, you can't file a PPA, right?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
Ooh.
What was the question?
the short answer. Well, go ahead.
I would ask that.
Repeat the
A
question.
design patent, there's no provisional design patent.
No, you can file a provisional on design patent.
I think it's for utility.
Yeah, there is an issue, I've been told, and I'm sure 5 attorneys would give you 5 different opinions, but filing a design patent along with a provisional patent application, something could mess up a little bit there. I don't know exactly. Ask a patent attorney. Get some good legal advice. I like design patents a lot. That's the other reason why. It's the #1 tool that's stopping copycats on the internet. Isn't that amazing? It's not patents. It's trademarks and design patents that are stopping the copycats. Right? Because copycats copy you exactly. They even take your name and they copy your product exactly. So that's how you stop them with those 2 tools.
Remember how Steven said he tried to figure out how he could steal his own invention? That's a very important thing to do here. We had a medical device. What I'm getting at is we filed the utility patent, and then we realized, well, it has a disposable. And frankly, anybody could have knocked off that disposable. So we filed the design patent on the disposable so that no one could copy that design, and that design only fit in our product that had the utility patent. So there are strategies to this, absolutely.
Hey, by the way, you can actually file a provisional patent without even sending them or paying for anything. Send it in snail mail with a missing part. Buys you at least a couple of months.
There's always someone getting around the system here. Yeah, I love that. That's why we're here, because we're creative.
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to find workarounds.
That falls under the creative accounting category.
I mean, we're always trying to find workarounds.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, you can file a whole bunch of them, send them out for license, and if they don't get it, you don't lose anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You don't have to pay them if you don't want to.
There's the licensing. It's interesting. If someone had asked me, how do you really win at that? You win at by staying in one industry long enough that you know it.
Hmm?
You stay in it long enough that you know who the people are and they know you, right? And you start to help them in such a way they start helping you. right? If you're submitting to a company quite a bit and they see your work, after a while they'll kind of point you in the right direction if you ask. It's all relationship based. Life is like that, right? But a lot of inventors like to jump around. One idea over here, over here, over here, over here. That's a little hard.
I resemble that remark.
I do too. So try to stay in one industry long enough. Go to trade shows.
Yeah.
And meet some of the leaders in the industry. Right? I mean, there's 2 people in the back room. They're a leader in the industry. You don't even know they're here. They're some of the best at what they do in DRTV.
Mm-hmm.
And they're here tonight. Right? Find those people.
Hi, Lindsay.
There she is, back there. Mob her when she leaves. I think she made her first million win.
Was that the ShamWow or the Chop Shop? The head massager. That.
It's amazing. You guys, if you stay in this industry long enough, you're going to meet some amazing people that are really willing to help you.
Right.
You are, and I think they do it for 2 reasons. Number one, I think they see themselves, right? And I think they're willing to help the next generation, right? And I think they're just good people. Find them, and that's why you should belong to groups like this.
Exactly, because we're the we're the real people, not the one. We're not the ones prying on your ideas. We're the ones associating with you and helping you and connecting you. Success breeds success.
You guys want to know what I just found?
No.
Design patents protect the exterior of a product, not its internal working. Protect the function, structure, and interior workings of an invention. You should consider filing either a provisional patent application or a non-provisional application, because ultimately you will need a utility patent.
Was that on my website?
You might as well be. Generic. Thanks, Steve.
You should have known.
Yes, Christine.
Oh, just a question. So what is your opinion about licensing versus Amazon? Having your own company and selling your product yourself on Amazon?
I'm not an expert at that. I can tell you that that's a wild, wild west situation. Amazon does not want to stop copycats. They love copycats.
They import them.
Yeah, they don't stop them. They love them. I heard from someone that was very brilliant in this area, talked about if you come up with an idea, knock yourself off with an inferior. Isn't that amazing? I heard that. And I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me if you have a great product and you know you're going to get copied, why not knock yourself off a couple different ways? And I heard that from the nice woman in the back, Lindsay.
I heard that number of times too.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, it boosts your brand if you can compare it against one that is inferior. Hey, we got to keep the evening rolling. I'd love to keep talking. We could keep talking with Stephen for hours and hours. You really want to hear, go on his website, because he's taken all of these questions and he's got great 5 to 15 minute videos that answer.
Thank you.
And there is a great laundry list. Stephen Key. Folks, Stephen Key. We're going to have Tom talk about a couple of interesting inventions. I'll tell you about what's going on in the patent world, and then we're done. So we're looking at 9:15. We'll speed it up. You will speed us up, right, Tom?
Sure.
Okay. Folks, introducing you to your new co-host who will be talking even more. He's created this great new segment that we're going to do monthly called Insignificant Significant Inventing. So ladies and gentlemen, for you to learn some interesting things about patents and the history thereof, here is Tom Rocher.
Thank you, Adrian.
You got a back button, you got a forward button. A back button and a forward button.
Perfect.
That's forward. And then you can scroll down a little if you need to.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. So there's for some screen adjustments you can do.
Okay.
All right.
Good evening, everybody.
Try to do that, Tom.
Okay. I'm going to start off with our first significant story. It's going to be on Teflon. So I'm going to go a little bit of scientific here, but just a little. Teflon was actually born out of a failure. And that is... In 1938, a gentleman by the name of Roy Plunkett, while working at DuPont, was tasked with synthesizing forms of a refrigerant to find a non-toxic alternative to ammonia and sulfur dioxide. At 27 years old, He was experimenting with tetrafluoroethylene gas, if I'm saying that right. TFE. And created a substance that he stored in small cylinders at dry ice temperatures. And then he would take and chlorinate it. After a short time, he opened one of those cylinders and found that nothing came out of it, despite that the cylinders weighed exactly the same as before. After some testing, Dr. Plunkett found that the gas had polymerized into a white powder resin known chemically as polytetrafluoroethylene. Is that right? Or PTFE. In 1960, PTFE became Teflon and became a non-stick cookware. It took 22 years. But Teflon is not a specific chemical nor a product name. It's actually a registered trademark by a company named Chemours, which was a spin-off from DuPont. Today, the industry is about almost a $3.5 billion industry from something that became out of a failure. You never know when you're inventing. Our second topic is called the accidental chocolate chip cookie. And this is just one story of two that I know that are out there. Ruth Graves Wakefield was known as the sweetest female inventor of all time. Born in 1905, she was a dietitian, a food lecturer, who eventually bought and ran, with her husband, an inn in Massachusetts. Can anybody think they can name that inn? You are absolutely correct. It was the Toll House Inn. Now, as Ruth, as the food she prepared gained popularity, she would always find herself experimenting or inventing new ways or new recipes to please her guests. Somewhere around 1930, she was mixing up a batch of cookies and she realized she didn't have any of the baker's chocolate. So she realized that she had a bar of Nestle semi-sweet chocolate, so she took an ice pick, chopped it up into little bits and threw that into the batter. Cooked it, and after she cooked it, she realized that the chips had not melted and they were unmixed. They were still intact. Lo and behold, chocolate chip cookies. They became an instant hit. The accidental success was dubbed the Toll House Crunch Cookie, and it gained so much attention that her recipe was published in the local newspaper. And that's when Nestle saw it. Nestle acquired the rights to her recipe, apparently for about $1 and all the chocolate she wants for the rest of her life. And they quickly packaged it and introduced the Nestle Toll House Real Semi-Sweet Chocolate. Like we know today, chocolate chips. Not bad for an accident. As you're inventing, you never know. The last segment I'm going to talk about, we have 4 pictures here. Can anybody tell me what they have in common, besides being houses?
Lights.
Nope. But here's what they all have in common. They are all made from shipping containers, used or recycled or upcycled shipping containers, including the pool. The biggest advantage, cost savings. Shipping containers cost about $2,500. You buy 10 of those, build your house, it's going to cost a lot cheaper than what they can produce homes today. Of course, you have to buy the lot and everything else, that's a different story. But it's also the incredible speed. The time it takes to build that house, or in this case, an example, the pool, you can order the pool, have it installed, and be swimming in it the next day. So whoever installed a pool in your house knows that it takes a lot longer than a day or two for that pool to get before you can use it. The third thing is it's environmentally friendly. You put about 7,700 pounds of steel back being used instead of sitting in landfills rusting away. What these all have in common is as you're inventing, you never know. Whether you add a widget instead of a wizard and something else was created, or you threw in something else and everyone loved it, or you find a different way to recycle. When you're inventing, that's the excitement of it. You just never know what's going to come from it. Be open for it, and you never know what's going to happen. That's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The simple, short, insignificant, significant inventing. And I don't know if Adrian is done.
Well, Jim, I need a machine shop maker.
If not, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Hey, way to go, Tom. Not bad.
I'm getting less nervous.
All right, folks.
I guess we're all leaving.
I guess you're all leaving. Well, those of you who wanted to stay, we'd show you the rest of this. It's about what the resources are. I'd like to be a resource. You can still come and see me. I do offer this as that product evaluation matrix I mentioned. You got Hey, Tom, you just let everybody go?
I did. They just got up.
That's controlling them. Oh, well, look. Again, for resources, you can't beat Stephen Key's website. Look at all these links he has available for you. This is tons of information that he has. We are part of the innovation pipeline. Here in San Diego, there's a group. Can I have your attention, please? Thanks. Well, we're going to be done in about 10 minutes. You guys can talk all the rest of the night. There's some great connections here in San Diego. One of them is called Connect. They help people for no money get their businesses started, getting their groups together. David, would you do me a favor and close that door?
Is this all this information here available?
No, that's why it's really good to sit in the crowd, and then you can ask me personally, and I will send you any slide you want. But no, this is why people come here. When you go to Connect to join the Springboard program, they want to see if you're actually ready, if you're coachable is the big question here. But on your screening, they ask you these questions. So this is, again, for the variations of you that are actually going to start a business. Maybe you are going to build a company. You are going to raise hundreds of thousands. This is not a tchotchke product placement. This is not a get-rich-quick. This is not a quick licensing. This is if you have a very intense project that's going to go into the millions of dollars or take R&D or whatever. You need to build a team. You need to have really scientific or professional business acquaintances. This is the kind of connections that you make at the Connect group. They have capital match. They will introduce you to the biggest syndicate for angels in the country, Tech Coast Angels. They're non-accredited. They are accredited investors. And look, when it comes to what does it take to be fund ready, this is why so many people love this license model. I've worked for a couple of different advisory groups, and this is a very common spreadsheet we hand out that if you want to even be considered for $250,000, $350,000, $400,000, you've got to go through and be prepared. I prepared today, had all these things in order, and they still found things that we didn't have in our thing here that kicked us out of the running. So you want to be in the top 95, 98%. You need to have 95 or 98% score based on a grading system like this. Get this, copy it, follow it, you got a great chance. Don't. Well, you don't plan to fail. You fail to plan. So what else we're going to talk about? I'll skip this. We were just talking about that Lemlinson Museum. Stephen is a major person there now. They have a real-time map that if you have a patent, you can add your name onto it and say, my ideas are being seen at the Smithsonian. UIA, we help enable people. They do the trade shows like Hardware Show and Direct Response TV. Thank you very much, Dan. As an example, a couple years ago, Dan was there with a Sipsy bottle and was, in fact, in essence, discovered and was able to do a quick pitch right there at the event to get things rolling. A couple of you have. It's been a really great way to get introduced. How many of you are doing something high tech or want to get into something high tech? Okay, hopefully you know about small business innovation. They have these funding opportunities. Every division of the government has solicitations. Right now is the season. It's open again. So look for these funding opportunity announcements from the Department of Small Business Innovation or Technical Transfer. This is non-dilutive money, so you're not going to give up any of your company to get one of these grants. A lot of it does come in backdoor. In other words, if you've met somebody at the SBIR, you might find that they're willing to listen to you to actually write a solicitation that fits your technology. Here's the contact information. They are looking for energy solicitations right now. Department of Defense is, of course, the biggest, then Department of Transportation. TV shows. Every reality TV show that's out there right now has got a casting call. And there's many of them. One of the more popular ones is the Make 48. There's Edison Nation. The industry has turned again to show that inventors can prosper, and that's the way to make America great again. Reinvent yourself, invent a product, get out there. People love these stories. That's why they make such a big deal about on the TV shows. Why? Because America runs on new ideas, and those don't come out of thin air. They come from you. So that's what that is. Q&A, we can skip that. Anybody have a big question you want to get an answer on right now? Yes, dear.
Little question. You said that there was a couple of leaders in the industry in the back of the room. I imagine it was the woman who invented ShamWow, etc.
Oh, yeah, she's one.
Yeah, she's gone.
No, she's there. She's out here.
Her story or a little bit about it, because it was very interesting to see her come in.
The ShamWow and the Chop Shop, you know, the shop, quick shop, you know, they chop vegetables with it. Yeah, and then the head scratch it. She's just got a great knack for it, and Lindsay Brooks is her name. Go ask Lindsay and get her number. She's great. She has a website. She helps. Since she was a kid. Since before she was as a teenager. Yeah, amazing track record. A lot of people in our group have gone on to become successful and learn the ropes. Any other question things? Yes, Ruth?
Can you reconsider and stay in San Diego?
If you have a few $1 million and I can come live with you, but otherwise, that's... Look, I'm not disappearing, and then with Zoom, actually once a month, I'm going to talk about the Inventors Group next. We've got 40 people meeting on Zoom. I have group meetings now almost every week with people all over the country. We just Zoom, so there's no reason to have to live anywhere. Live on a yacht and do your business. That sounds good. I'm out of here.
So now we know where you're going.
Yeah, while the surf's up. Okay, here's the best part in my mind. Well, of course, again, thank you. Thank you, America. I appreciate the opportunities here. So this is the Who Needs Who. Before I go on my rant about my needing you, does anybody here actually need a connection today? You're looking for a designer, somebody to write a business plan, somebody to write you a jingle. Anybody looking for a specific task today? Yes. Barry.
Some manufacturer.
Of what?
My toy.
Is it plastic, metal, fabric, plastics? And you want somebody to do the injection as well as make it? And okay, Michelle Nash-Hoff's company is EFS Electrofab Services, and she reps a number of injection molding shops here in town. There are a number. They're really good. The one we used up in Oceanside that beat the Chinese prices was called Design, but now they've changed their name, so I'm not sure.
Her name's Michelle what?
Nash-Hoff, H-O-F-F, and her company is Electrofab Services. She's been a rep here in San Diego for decades and is the person to talk to for finding a good match for your manufacturing needs of any type, really. My shop is electronics, electromechanical assembly stuff, so that's it. Who else has got a, who needs a what? Yes, my friend?
I'm a patent lawyer, but I want to...
No, you want an agent. A lawyer is somebody that you go to when you want to litigate. An agent is who you go to prosecute your patents. He will write them, he will file them, and he will do all the office actions.
Patent practitioner.
Well, the agents are about half the price, so that's why I'm trying to lead you down that road.
Okay.
And David Waller is our resident. He's our sponsor here in the group. He's gotten me a few other people here. He's been very successful. Dave Waller, Patent Strategies, LLC is his company. And he's our sponsor on our sponsor page.
I know that on your first few slides that you got at the beginning of the course, you have a directory of all the sponsorships and people. Is there any way we can get...
Yeah, you send me an email. I'll send you any of these slides you want.
Okay. Email to you?
Yep.
Okay. David Waller.
Yes. Just a sec. Go ahead.
Last time I was here, there was a guy that did plastic fabrication, and he's in La Costa. Does that ring a bell?
Robert was his name?
Might have been.
Yeah. Robert O'Neill.
Robert O'Neill.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's a mechanical engineer. He's got a 3D printer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
I'm looking for a pretty much an ITT tech specialist to do some kind of creative art stuff. Sits that I can upload and download. It's a certain kind of person, that's really qualified to do that work on the computer.
Artwork? Computer artwork?
Yeah. Computer graphic design.
Oh gosh, Don Q does those animations and surrealistic drawings and can spin things around. He's a great animator, Don Q.
Don Q.
Don Q Design. Again, email me. I will link you to him. Another gal's name is Lindsay Whitaker. Actually, his last name is Russian. It's long, so he goes by Don Q. And it's CAD Renders is his company.
Is he in the area?
Yeah. Yeah.
He may come to my shop actually.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Another one, she was here in town, but she's actually working with Stephen now, is Lindsay Whitaker. She does patent drawings and graphic design work. So yeah, there's a couple. And then if you just want artist people, we have people that can do that too. So from professional art to just really beautiful artists, like the people that created our logo and so on.
One other quick question.
Yes, sir.
How about a videographer?
We have Danny in the back here. Sydney's right there. Where did Sydney go? Well, I thought Sydney was out here. Anyway, Sydney's a professional videographer. Danny's a professional videographer. David does video work.
I guess in 1 week I could take it to market now. All these people.
That's what resources do for you. That's what coming to a club does for you. Yes, Alberto.
Is there ever a time where you choose a video over a sell sheet, or how do you determine that?
Oh, that's a great question. By the way, I wanted to talk about the sell sheet because to me, sell sheets are perfect for the products that you can. My version of a sell sheet is called a one-pager, and it's an executive summary that talks about our whole business. And there's quite a similarity, but there is a difference. Anyway, when do you have a video? Look, if you're doing the Kickstarter campaigns, you're going to need the video. The video is great if you can't present but want to remotely convey something.
Because I have no physical product. We talked about that.
Yeah,
algorithm.
right. Yeah, and the formula is show the pain, show the product, show people liking it. Yeah, that's an essential too. Lindsay, what's your advice? Because you've got good suggestions on this. What's more important? When do you need the provisional versus the video?
Well,
no, the sales sheet versus the video. Excuse me.
I think the biggest key in launching any product, whether you're doing it yourself or you're going to do the licensing, is making it look like you're in the middle of Broadway. So when even though you are making this in your garage or you're knitting it in your basement or whatever you're doing, however you're making your product, when you go to a retailer or a licensing company or someone like me, you want to look like you're a threat. You want to walk in the door like if you have a cleaning product, you want to be Mr. Clean, when you walk in there. Because that company doesn't want to take something off the shelf for you unless you are a contender. You see what I'm saying? So for example, the way a buyer looks at a product is like a math problem. So this product sells $2 million. This magic fork, it's already on the shelf. You have a new magic fork. Why is your new magic fork going to be $200 million? You see, so if you can look like you can, just copy brands that you see out there. Just like I think Steve was saying, copy the TV people, make the video, have the sales sheet. I think it's all important
because it tells your story.
You oftentimes will, the sales sheet could open the door that would then allow the interest, create the interest, so then they ask for the video. And the video, every frame is worth 1,000 words. Is the, it's a picture, and you can convey so much more. Because seeing the actual thing work is reduction of risk. Anything that's stagnant is, well, how does this actually feel or work, or what's the reaction? So it's just that much more communicative to have the video.
Or just embed your video in your sell sheet.
You can if it's, yeah, that's, yeah.
Click here.
Hyperlink it.
The best way really to contact somebody, though, like buyer or licensor, but usually this is like the secret, this is what I do, is in the subject line, I have a cool product I want to send it to you. Give me your address. Like that's, because these people are super busy, they get, I have like, if you look at my phone right now, I have 127,000 followers. I have 3 girls that stay up all night. If somebody writes me a letter like that, I'm going to get the sale.
I was going to say that's a good problem, but I don't know.
Well, it's like
bless your heart.
So,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is that if you, for somebody who's very busy, send me a product.
Yeah, just get to the point. Life's too short to dwell on.
What is your company's name?
What's that?
What is your company's name?
Boardwalk Brand is my parent.
Any other questions? Tell them, what do you need?
I've got 2 requests here. Gentlemen looking for a business partner, somebody to promote and market consumer board games.
Yeah, a marketer. Yeah, you can post that ad in Craigslist. I'm not kidding. You're going to get some of the best qualified people with an ad like that. It's such a generic question.
The second one's the same one, but this is for patented footwear insoles.
That's interesting because I'm working on somebody with on that project. But the first, there was actually an answer for that. Here in town is Greg Zima Games. We have a couple other people that are actually doing game marketing. And Lindsay would know, and Steven would know. Seriously. The second thing was the foot insoles. I haven't a clue. We're going to start researching that ourselves here pretty soon. And I'll let you know what I find out.
Thank you.
Okay, Tom. Who else? Yes, sir.
Really quick. Do you think toy companies want to know if the toy was invented by a child? Like, do they want to know, like, invented by a child, made by a child, for children?
It can be a selling factor. We had our winners of our invention contest twice here were 2 sisters that invented the slap wrist bracelet thing with fluffy toys, and they knew their story inside and out. It was amazing. They were putting adults to shame. They actually were a selling factor for the brand because, yes, it was from kids. On the other hand, we've seen people that are they do the shadow or whatever it's called, and it's actually the parent using the kid as a front. I've seen those too, but
yeah, like I have my kids' drawings.
Oh.
That I had my prototypes made a prototype of.
Well, as long as it doesn't cross the line and look poor or look cheap or too childish.
Oh no, like original drawings. I mean, I wouldn't put the drawings on the sell sheet. Yeah.
I start off with crayon drawings. I'm not proud. I gotta admit, I still draw with crayons. Well, it depends on the product. If it's a kid's product, that's probably a good play. If you're trying to sell an adult product, that's probably like, why am I trying to get so? I'm a master of the obvious. I've won awards called the Why Didn't I Think of That Before award, because I'm just pointing out the obvious. I just thought I saw a hand over here. Yes?
Actually, I don't know if my question is relevant to what we're doing right now. It just, earlier talking about not having the patent, etc. Are any of these companies ever concerned that if they run with your idea that they've been infringing upon something that's out there? I mean,
it's
from other people copying.
Yeah, it is a concern.
Being litigated against?
Yeah, Stephen didn't use the term tonight. He calls it perception of ownership. And he does argue for the fact that, look, I did a search, I didn't find anything. We can't really be sure what has been filed for anyway. As far as our search is concerned, we are in the clear, we have freedom to operate, and so let's move forwards. That is his, to summarize, to put it together. Yeah.
And if he does find something, then there might be an opportunity then to find a process or something in
Yeah.
manufacturing.
Now, what he didn't use the word tonight, he didn't use the word trolls. And those are the people, I mean, frankly, I could be classified as a troll. I've got about 2/3 of my inventions I've never brought into market yet. I don't have a marketing team. I didn't have a manufacturing company, whatever. I didn't have the resources. It was a huge project that was going to take quite a bit. Yeah, I parked it. If somebody else wants to come to the market, if they do their homework, they will find that I have filed something. They'll call me. I'll negotiate a royalty agreement. that is the way business works. If they do just try to go out in the market, though, then I will have to sue them, and that's coming out of the woodwork. But you know, they should have done their homework and found that this was in fact patented. You know, just be upfront about it and work out a deal. I have met people that had an idea because they really knew a market well, and when they went to research it, they found the patent already existed, but it wasn't brought to market. They contacted them, and this person was more than joyed to get that phone call that finally somebody that did know the market was going to give them a little piece of it, because a little piece of a big pie is better than all of nothing. And then they went and licensed it to this other person that had the wherewithal to actually move it out there. So that's how you create a relationship in a symbiosis. So yeah, just getting cease and desist isn't a stop of all things. It's a chance to actually negotiate. Another, yes sir?
Any recommendations on maybe strengthening yourself to handle, like, we reached out to numerous companies, and we really only got response from one, solid response, that is entertaining our idea.
Yeah.
Is there any way to really solidify our ground to cooperate with them and work with them, because you know, we don't have really any other company to go with, and it's somewhat of a niche product, and you don't really know.
I'm going to again refer you to go to Steven's website and look at some of his videos, because they answer this question exactly. Frankly, he's usually proud when his students get their first no, because at least they've started the process. I have met people, we had somebody here that won our invention contest for a very simple rack device to put grocery bags into garbage, turn them into garbage bags, went on the back of chairs, and he won our award. Took him 2 years before he got a license agreement because nobody got it. He just had to be persistent about it. There are some things about the pitch. To answer your question directly, get more interest if you can. And otherwise, how do you pursue that one lead you've got right now? Well, yeah, that's persistence, patience. Don't be, too pestery. But you can actually put some criteria on it that make them have to respond. Not enough time, watch Steven's video. You'll get some clues to that. Or ask him before you leave here. Yes, again, yes.
How about toy marketing and distribution in San Diego? Anybody doing that?
Yeah, Greg Zima is one I know. Yeah, and there is another one or two. Just escapes me right now. Look, guys, I'm going to do my little rant about the inventor's whole thing, and then we're going to be done. Are there any others? Does anybody else needs it? Yes.
What do you think about companies like InventHome?
One of the bigger scams on the planet. How do you think they afford those commercials late at night? Look up their complaints listings. They are one of the biggest. I started this club because I was so upset at people going to that company and showing up in my office going, I hawked Grandma's house. We took a loan on Grandma's house so I could get Invent Helps Help for my thing. They gave me this book. And you open it, and it was just the same generic material. It had the same front cover of the Thinker. It was generic marketing material. They just cut and paste your product name in the right spots. Garbage. They only promoted the top products they thought would have a chance, but told everybody the same story. Matter of fact, part of their process is they would give you a letter from a patent agent saying, oh, we searched and we think you've got freedom to operate, but the caveat is we can't search everything, so we may be wrong. But it was all to impress upon you that you got a great idea. They never told anybody their idea sucked. Excuse me. They were never honest with people. They gave them the exact same response back, and they are one of the most notorious rip-off companies there is. There's another one in Florida called Davidson Design. He has been up against the patent office so many times to try to shut him down. Another huge rip-off company has been Telebrands. Stephen didn't mention that tonight, but it was Telebrands, A.G. Kabani's company, that knocked off the water balloon thing, that made the whole case and point for this year about what is the poster child for somebody who's been abused by the patent system, and who did the abusing? It was Telebrands. And after $20 million to defend a patent to make water balloons, Josh is finally winning. Yay. Telebrands rebranded themselves. They're now Brightbulb. Anyways.
There is a market, though, for people that want someone else to do the work, or do you,
Well, like Steven says, you want the work done the way you want it done, you do it yourself. I am a product development company. For 300 years, I've developed 300 years. It feels like it. For 30 years, over 300 products. People come to me and pay me, and I help them get the patent, get the working models made, whatever it took. So yes, there is a business for that, and some of us are reputable, actually make things that work and deliver them.
Yeah.
That's saying what you do and doing what you say. So there is a business for that. I don't get involved with the marketing, actually, because my engineering's background, not marketing. So I can design and make things and manufacture them, but I leave it up to you to figure out how to sell it, because that's...
So what do you think that those companies could do differently to not be like a scam?
Change their game plan.
They get paid whether you get a deal or not.
Right.
So
So it's
they
kind
don't
of like
care.
a patent attorney, though, right? I mean, they still get paid.
We like our patent attorneys.
Yeah, they can get it for
Yes, they get paid. Very few are honest. Well, you know, this whole thing of searching the market. Look, I'm going to say it for the last time here, the definition for product development is bringing to the market. That's its own task. A customer accepted idea, finding that out is its own task. So bringing to the market a customer accepted idea from initial concept through design and into manufacturing on a predetermined cost, budget, and schedule. That's what it takes to do product development. So the second step there of bringing a customer accepted idea means being objective, stop listening to your friends, do focus groups, really find out what people want. I'm going to go through something really quick here and show you an example of, well, I skipped it. Harry West developed the Swiffer duster for Johnson & Johnson. He never mopped a floor in his life. And his process, which he's been paid for years to do, is to watch, question, create prototypes, test it, and go through evolutions until you finally have a product that everybody loves. That's innovation. It's not invention, it's innovating. But it was to make sure that it was a product that everybody wants. That's the key. Okay, take two, and then I'm going to move on so we can wrap up. It's already 9:15, and your party's waiting for you. What did you want to know?
Okay, so basically the competition next month, right?
Yes.
What is expected from us? Like, do we
It's the most brilliant ideas ever seen by mankind. Nothing less.
Okay.
Look, it's got to have a provisional patent at least.
Yes.
And then it's up to you. If the more you have, the more you show, the more you convince, the better the score is, the way it usually is. And you can use the whole thing as a focus group, frankly.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. How many of you have seen me talk about the whole patent law situation before? Oh, good number of you. Okay, well, I've only added a couple new slides, so for many of you, this is going to be a repeat. So here's the story. We have had some major changes in the patent laws since the American Invents Act, and it was brought to my attention in 2015 that it had gone to an extreme, and they were about ready to pass a bill that was going to say that because of these new patent laws, they could challenge your patents now. If you got into one of these challenges, they were going to make a law that was going to say your investor was going to be on the hook. They were going to pierce the corporate veil. They were going to take your investor and sue him if he owned even 5% of your company. And that was pretty obvious to realize that's not a good idea. This gentleman called me, and he and one other man at the time, Paul Morinville, were U.S. inventor. They had us fly in, and this is Paul Morinville. Paul Morinville came out, we became friends. I helped protest in front of Darrell Issa's office because Darrell Issa was one of the architects of this American Invents Act. We got petitions together. We actually, I was very fortunate, we did get Stephen as one of the early supporters to help get our petitions out. And this is when I started getting all the other groups in the country to start collaborating together. It was time to make this a major impact. So here we are in front of the U.S. Patent Office burning our patents because right now, for $20,000, a company can challenge your patent through a couple of new procedures, and you instantly have to put up almost a $500,000 bail to defend yourself, right off the bat. You can't. You're wiped out. It's that easy now for big companies to take advantage of the little inventor. So we were there, and we were protesting this, and we got some world news. Of course, we didn't get news in this country, but we kept up the fight. And the next thing we did is we went to the Supreme Court to protest that they were thinking about changing the Constitution. It's Section 1, Article 8, that says we had the rights to our ideas. And there was an important case about it. Went to the Supreme Court, and the inventor lost. And in fact, the Supreme Court decided those aren't your rights anymore. That's a franchise, and the government has every right to take it away. So we lost in the Supreme Court. This country is not what it was when the founders founded it, even what it was 5 years ago. Inventors don't have the rights to their own ideas anymore. You have to do other things about it. So, yeah, we protested. We lost that fight. It's sad because, like the sign says here, this was the largest job creator in the history of mankind. Where was that slide? Anyway, we had a sign here. The largest job creator in the history of mankind was the Patent Office, and so when our system was #1 in the world forever until the American Invents Act passed, it's now 12th in the world. There's no credibility for an American patent anymore because of all the challenges that can wipe out a small inventor. The validity of these patents is in total question. The Chinese patents are stronger. There's more investment going to China. There's more market in China, and they protect the inventor better in China now. Sad to say it. I'm a vet. This upsets the hell out of me. But that's the case. That's where we're at. That's why we have been protesting and fighting and getting petitions and writing amicus briefs, getting things in front of the Supreme Court, trying to get bills passed. And so we're finally at a stage now where there's a new director in the Patent Office. He really cares about what our problems are. He is trying to make changes. There are now 4 bills pending for inventors. The Stronger Invents Act, Macy's bill for inventors, our bill for inventors, and there's another one for anti-troll law or something. Point is, it takes actually going to Washington and talking to your rep. You can't send them a letter, they throw them away. You can't just call them, they go, nice, thanks for the call. You actually have to show up in their office, and then they go, oh my God, there's somebody who's actually here in my office. You're actually doing your job as a citizen. So the point is to show up at their office either locally or in Washington and make your voices heard and known. Again, there was a very historic event here when the United Inventors Association and this group did join forces with the IGA. And what this IGA is, and Stephen just walked in the back, but I can't thank him enough for agreeing to finally do this. He'd been thinking about it for years that there was a need to join the groups. Well, this is the map now. This is the IGA. These are all the clubs across the country now, and we talk once a month on Zoom, and we're sharing our resources, we're sharing our problems, we're sharing what's going on in Washington, we're sharing what you need, we're talking to each other as group leaders so that we can come back here and tell and share with you what's the haps and how you can help. So, yeah, we all got in buses and planes and went to Washington, had a big conference with the Patent Office. And this is what this group has turned into now. You saw it as a start of 2 people, and this is what it is now. And this represents inventor leaders from coast to coast. So we've done this in a year.
2 years? 1 year? 2 years?
Well, this was this year. This was the last 3 slides were from January this year. Yeah, we've been working on it since 2015. I've been on it for since 2015. Yeah, 3 years we've been working on this, but this group, which really has the greatest horsepower, has just been formed this year. Again, here's the reason why. We've got patent laws that are going against us, and what has already been implemented is not inventor friendly. And so, how many of you saw the movie? Yay. Anybody want to comment what they thought?
It was quite eye-opening and shocking.
A lot of people were in tears.
Things have changed, but it doesn't hit the news because, you know, invention is a narrow segment of the perceived economy. But
only 10% of the population has a creative brain to start with. Only another smaller percentage of that goes and does something. A smaller percentage of that actually gets a patent. A smaller percentage, yes. There's only a few 100,000 of us, but we are the future. We are the job creators. We're the ones that make the difference, make the future happen and real. We are the innovators that made this country great. Anyway, this film came out. Please see it. It talks about the problems inventors are having with the patent system. I say a few words. Basically, it's Josh Malone's story and 1 or 2 other inventors about, again, the guy who invents a toy for his kids and does a $1 million campaign on Kickstarter, gets knocked off the very day, makes that big splash on Kickstarter, and now he's spent $20 million defending his patents because it was knocked off. And it's a perfect example of how the system really has been moved to just work for the big corporations. That's again why you license early. You get in some deep pockets that protect you. It's as simple as that.
Where is that online to see that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Amazon, and there's another trailer link somewhere. Yes. So, those of you who are here, we had the panel. Congressman Rohrabacher was here. Paul and Josh were here. That's Luke Livingston, the director. And And interestingly enough, it's the Tea Party that saw this as a case in point that they wanted to actually promote, so they funded the film. We weren't. This wasn't a Tea Party rally. They were just conscientious enough to want to help, and we thank them for doing that. And this was a really interesting panel discussion, because what Congressman Rohrabacher was trying to say was, the problem isn't our patent system. The problem is the Chinese are paying our congressmen to vote against. And it's like, well, that could be true. I don't know. Point is, the congressmen have been. Hundreds of millions were spent on that bill. That 12 inventors flew into Washington, and in one afternoon we had that bill tabled. 12 inventors. It was hundreds of millions of dollars the lobbyists had spent to get that bill to that stage. That's how powerful we are. Okay? So, yeah. Look, here's our latest bill. There's a sheet on it. We're trying to carve out rights for inventors. We're trying to restore. The 2 pages that aren't on here talk about restoring injunctive relief, because right now somebody infringes, you can't sue for it for damages. You can't get treble damages. You can barely get even what you've lost. Generally speaking, on these cases now, they force you into a licensing contract that can be even below market value. Injunctive relief is a big issue, but it's really stopping the PTABs. The PTABs is a division of the Patent Office that has been created to invalidate the patents that they had actually issued. Yes. As little sense as that makes, there is a division of the Patent Office that its whole job now is to second guess the things that have already been issued and find reasons why they should invalidate those patents. And that whole process gets started because somebody thinks your patent was invalid. And they can begin that procedure for very little money, and it costs you a fortune. So we're trying to get rid of those PTABs. The Macy bill gets rid of the PTABs. Please learn more about it, because we're really coming at an end of the time here, and I'd love you to get involved. The usinventor.org is the website. I think there's some cards out there. And so, look, it's not over. There's still great opportunities. There's still great chances. Frankly, what I've decided to do is just start filing PCTs. PCTs are foreign patent filings. They're not just limited to America. So I can, and it's a 30-month provisional. It's not just a 12-month.
What's it called again?
A PCT. A PCT filing is an international filing, so I have a 30-month temporary, basically, and then at the end of that I can file in China or any other country I want. So it's not about the U.S. anymore, really. And,
so you just file that first?
Yeah.
What does PCT stand for?
Something treaty. Patent cooperation treaty, probably. Something like that.
And you file those in America?
Yes. Yeah. They're filed just like a regular filing.
How much are they?
Let's see. I just spent. It's a little bit more. It was. I think it was 20. Yeah, it was 2,500. Yeah, it was more than a regular filing.
But they have something like that's a provisional though.
It's like a 30-month provisional.
30?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said 3.
No.
That's what I thought it said.
No, I'm sorry. 30. Yeah.
Is it just as unprofessional as a PPA? Like just
Well, if you want to file garbage, you can, wait to get your rejection letter, or you can file something good.
Well, no one looks at it in the beginning.
Yeah, it's true. It's when it goes to be actually reviewed that every word does have to still be accurate and current.
There are different rules though for the PCT though. For when you file the European Union, 15 claims versus 20. I just did all this, so it's a little different, but not much.
There's minimums. The best way is at least one claim. I used to just file an abstract and call it a spec sheet. Used to get away with that. Can't do that anymore. Anyways, so yeah, filing with PCTs is a good way. And then partnering somebody early enough that's got the money. Getting to market first is still key. I've been in a high-tech career for decades, and when I got into consumer market, one of the first things I learned is it's dog eat dog. It's first to market. You're going to file a patent. You might be in the market and actually blow out the whole market before that patent even issues. That's how fast some markets move. So first to market, get the brand recognition going. All right? Look,
Adrian,
yes, sir.
So you pay $2,800 for the PCT, but But you file yourself or you have someone?
No,
You did it.
No, I hire people that know how to do things better than I do. I know what they're
Because I
doing.
was told 4,000 because I want to file for one.
Get another price.
Well, maybe you can refer me to the person. that
Sure.
did it for you?
Yeah, sure. I might have gotten some preferential treatment, but.
Was it an attorney or was it
Patent agent.
An agent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't go to attorneys unless you want to spend $4,000 for a provisional patent.
Yeah. Okay.
So was that, how much was the fees on it for the PCT?
I think that included it. I mean, it hasn't been issued yet. It was just filed
No,
2 weeks ago.
so you don't know how much the difference between the PCT?
I'd have to dig it
I
up.
think it's $1,000 or $1,200.
Dean, I'm going to get back to you. I'm tired. I'll look it up. But the whole package was 24. That's what I remembered was the actual filing, because that did not include the attorney. So look, this is still a land of opportunity. There's still great opportunities. If you have great ideas, go for it. Make that legacy. Make the world a better place. Have fun, if nothing else. Get your ideas out there. And there's so many ways to do it. The benefit of starting your own business is you can do anything, any which way you want. Marketing, selling it, making it in your garage, whatever. Comfort business, a major corporation. All your choice if it's your business. But it's also your life now. You're committed 100% to it, and that is the difference. You license, and you're done. And once a quarter, every 3 months or so, you get a royalty check in the mail. And there was none of that other work or hassles or setups, and that's why it's a preferred way to go. So, it's still a great way to make it. Okay. Yep. America's still great. I'm still saluting, and. Look, guys, this is the last one. Again, this is A Squared Technologies. We are staying in business. We do have a new product development guide. It's a spreadsheet that walks you from idea to ready to show. And I want you all to have every day of the rest of your life be an inventive day. And thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you.
Since we're live, there's a gentleman from Riverside, California, who's asking you some questions. So
let's do it.
Camera there. He said you mentioned something about remote Zoom sessions. Do you know where he can find more information about those? On the website?
We were talking about the IGA meetings, and so that's on the Invent Leader site. The links to that.
Okay. And he said he'd like to really pick your brain sometime. So.
I'm publicly challenged. And he won't be the first. Yeah, I'd like to pick your brain for an hour for free. When can I call you?
Andre Narvez.
All right. Email me, and we'll talk. I do. I spend hours every day. Any other questions? We're all done. Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
That was really cool. I couldn't believe that. They make
No, I think it was just
So we can tell you exactly how to get there.
You know what I mean?
So you can
go.
We're up in the sky. We're sitting in the seats.